Guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. Happy Saturday, everybody. How you doing? Good to see you guys. Thanks for showing up on a Saturday. You know, today we're covering the sentencing of the demon that dismembered college student on the deadly first date, Sade Robinson. Now, man, I'm looking back at this stuff, guys. I'm looking way back. And if y'all were here for like Carly's been here since day one. I'm going to put this up right here just so you guys know who was Sade Robinson, more than just a first date victim, right? So that's what we're talking about. We're going to wrap this case up. For those of you that have been here since literally before day one, like Carly's been here. She remembers the days of trying to collab with people. And I was collabing with JT and even JT, Greeno, Marv. I've been covering this case since forever. So I feel that I need to wrap this case up. My playlist has all the other collabs we've done, episodes we've done, and this is finally over. And I want to make sure I document this, and if the family sees it, I want them to know that I care about them and Sade and what happens to her, what happened to her, and that you guys remember who she is and that she's more than just a victim of Maxwell. So what's up, everybody? Good to see you guys. Good to see you. I'm gonna just remove this for a minute and talk because I don't want to disrespect any victims while they're up on there. So good to see you. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Holly Tanner, for being a member. Thank you, Kez, for becoming a Guilty of Crime member. And N. Britain, Nikki, for being, it's Nikki, a member for 8 months. All right, real quick before we get into anything. What's up, Mama Sage, Sadie's mama, all the moms? Thank you guys for being here. It's a Saturday, and there's lots of other things going on a Saturday. And you're here. So let's do this together. But before we do, this is one I won't forget either. But if you guys were here on yesterday's episode, you know it got a little crazy. Some of the chat I couldn't even read because it was wild, right? I did the phone calls and people were getting heated even before that. So I'm going to warn you guys now, anybody that comes in, if you're a rewatch crew, any of that, please put yourself in check, put your emotions in check. And if you don't feel good about being in chat or you're mad at Jay from Guilty of Crime because I have empathy for a person that I've been talking to for months, or anybody, that's really my business, and I have every right to do so. So if you're getting mad at me, it's probably not me that you're mad at. It's whatever feelings that you need to process or what you haven't gone through. I don't think that I deserved any of what happened yesterday in that call. And Nanaska knows. Nanaska I haven't heard from her, but I hope, Nanaska, if you hear this or you come, it wasn't really a conversation. It was more of like, hey, I got to get out what I needed to say and get all the jabs in there. But that's not how we run Guilty of Crime here. And so next time I have a call in and it gets heated like that, I'm going to just say, okay, bye now, and move forward. I don't think I deserved any of that either. I got some messages from crime crew people just kind of reaming me about whatever their feelings are. I've processed my feelings about this, but my feelings have nothing to do with yours. Anybody that's watching this, just leave. If you can't process your emotions or you don't like how I run my channel, then just go away, take your time, process how you feel, and come back. But I don't deserve that, and nobody else does. So thank you guys for being here. I just want to let you know that, and thank you. I got a lot of love from you guys also. I got a ton of love and text messages and emails that said, Jay, you handled that in a diplomatic way. Jay, and just like that, you said you didn't deserve that, but you handled it like a pro. And I appreciate that, because I don't deserve to get hateful messages. I don't deserve to be yelled at or talked to like that, like if I didn't think about what I was doing before I did it. I assure every one of you, I think about everything that I do and say before I come on here. And I'm very aware of the things I do and do not do. So if you feel like you don't want to be here for some reason and you're getting heated, just go away. All right. So I'm going to start off with that. Please just do yourself a favor. It's not me that you're upset at. It might be the situation of what the topic. Maybe that topic's got you twisted over the last year, whatever's going on. Process it and then come back. All right. I don't have time to go over 26,000 messages and then answer. And then when I don't answer, then people get mad at me for not answering. I don't know what happened, but you never got back to me. I'm so upset with you. All right. So that being said, I needed to get that out. What's up, Sherry? I'm glad you rolled in. I just wanted to say thank you. I was waiting for you to roll in and say thank you for these awesome necklaces from Puerto Rico. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that so much. All right. So what's up? Now I can pay attention to y'all. Now that I got it off my chest, it's been rolling around today as I go to my emails. And I just don't. Yeah, like Foxy says, please put your soapboxes away for the duration of the live stream. And that's for any live stream. I don't think today's going to get like that, but I just want you guys to know that in the future, I will not put up with that, and I'll just click the goodbye button. All right. Because I need you guys to process your own feelings. I cannot process them for you. All right. So that being said, what's up, y'all? Happy Saturday. My shirt says Friday, but I just put this on because it's nice and comfy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. If you guys have feelings, process somewhere else. What's up, Chief? How you doing? Wyatt, good to see you. I said hi to you, Emily, but what's up? Under the Mystic Moon, how you doing? And yeah, it's not even about me. It was just about the show. It's a new hijacking tactic. Yes, it is. Krista, you're right. When I was doing the call-ins, when a lot of things were going down behind the scenes, people that were bashing me wanted to come on and speak. Why would I ever do that? Why would I purposely bring someone on here to hijack my channel and bash me and what I've been doing? Not going to happen. All right. So in the future, guys, I'm just going to say click and next. I'm not going to let it go that far because I think it came on both sides of things, right? People didn't want to have to deal with that. Everyone was saying, hang up, hang up. So there you go. Today we're talking about Sade Robinson and we're wrapping up the case, but I just had to get that off. What's up, Chief? How you doing? All right. So hopefully as we go through this, more people will realize we're streaming and roll on in. How you doing, Bree? All right. Don't forget to take your meds. That too. Take your meds. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. And feel free to gift memberships to those that need them. All right. Sharon Belko, I'm so glad you're here. I know you're multitasking. Big shout out. Love you, my Leo twin. Hope you're doing well. And thank you, Cats Meow, for the $6.99 super sticker. That's what helps the channel to keep going. So thank you. All right. And what's up, Carrie? I see you. All right, let's take a look at this real quick before we get into anything else. Who's Sade Robinson? More than just the first date victim, right? All right. Oh, nice. You went to this trial in Milwaukee. That's awesome. Tell us about that in chat. I really, really, really wanted to cover this case while it happened, the sentencing. I just didn't get to it. I was busy. So I'm glad you're here, Kathleen. I'm so glad you caught alive. Yeah, tell us about it. When I first started this case, I definitely compared this monster to Jeffrey Dahmer, who we all know was in Milwaukee as well, right? All right. Now, this was her mom. This came from a website that her mom has, and I can't read it, but I'm going to have to make it bigger. I can't see it. Hold on. And I'm hot. It's hot in here, guys. Woo. California is hot right now. All right, I'll fan myself while I read it. Oh, cool. Sade Robinson was a human. She was a young, strong, independent woman that lived a full life and was loved by many. She was a daughter, a sister, a granddaughter, a niece, a cousin, a friend, a coworker, and an employee. She was a guaranteed hug and smile whenever you saw her. She brightened the days and lives of anyone who knew her. Sade was a soldier. She was 19 years old, guys. 19 years old. In 19 years, she survived multiple instances, actual, I don't want to say that, physical and mental assault. Hold on, let me go back here. I'll read it from here. I don't want it so big on the screen. I didn't even realize what it said. Okay. Anyway, that wasn't she was ambitious and hopes and dreams to do many great things, and she planned meticulously and executed her plans in order to help reach the goals. Sade Robinson had dreams cut short when her life was stolen in a gruesome manner at age 19. All right, Foxy says, what are you saying, Foxy? Didn't I send you a rainbow you probably did. I don't know where it is though, but it's hot in California, and I didn't feel like combing my hair today. As you can see, it's just all wild. It's all crazy looking. My wig is hot. All right. You might have. I don't know where all that stuff is. Anyway, all right. She was full of love and light, and we're going to hear the family today, and we're going to see the sentencing, and we're going to see what ridiculousness that Maxwell Anderson's dad. All right, come on in, guys. I'm getting started now. If you missed the beginning, you go back and rewatch it later. We're just getting started, all right? Yeah, Baby Guilty is probably using it. And by the way, Baby Guilty starts school on Monday. She's going into 5th grade, you guys. That's wild. 5th grade. All right, and I do want to cover the Larry Miliete trial. I want to cover it because I've been watching that for so long. I don't think they found Maya Miliete yet. I don't know if they ever will. So anyway, email me at guiltyofcrime by j@gmail.com, the journey to justice, and let me know if you want me to, you want to send me some stuff, and I'll cover that case, all right? I know all about that case, by the way. All right, so Sade's End. I wish it wasn't so hot today. All right. In May, Sade was to graduate with a 2-year degree. Now, I'm just going over this. She's still missing for 4 years. Okay, so I'm going over Sade Robinson before we go to sentencing. So anybody that watches this knows her story quickly and what happened. I wouldn't want someone to come on and say, sentencing for what? What happened? Yeah, Baby Guilty's going into 5th grade. All right. And yeah, it's wild. It's wild to think about that. But let me take a look here because I'm getting old and I can't see. All right. So listen, we skipped to her end. We knew who she was. You probably watched this case. I'm going to keep fanning myself while I'm down here. All right. So in May, Sade was, I have air conditioning on too, guys. It's just hot. All right. In May, Sade was set to graduate with a 2-year degree from MATC. From there, she planned to join the Air Force, following the footsteps of her military uncle and grandfather. She planned to join the FBI after obtaining a bachelor degree during her tenure in the Air Force. That's wild because I didn't even remember that. All right. Didn't even remember that. Who's Shay here? I'm new here. This woman's so honest. That's why I'm here. Love her. Shout out to Shay. Thank you for being here. Maybe I'll just fix my hair since it's so hot and won't wear a hat. All right. AARP is talking to you. No, I'm 46. When is AARP? Anyway, let's finish this so we can get into sentencing. It's not hot flashes, Sid. It's just hot. Trust me. All right, so listen, she had ambitions, she had dreams. We're gonna hear about it today. Yeah, it's a hot day in California too. I see you guys. My house is 68, but it's 100 here. Yeah, it says it's 66 degrees in my house, but it's not, guys. And I have an AC right here, and I'm still dying. Anyway, Sade had dreams, and the family's gonna talk about some of those when we get to it. All right, so on April 1st, 2024, Sade FaceTimed her mother April 1st, guys, April Fools 2024. This was last year. Sade FaceTimed her mother before going to work at Pizza Shuttle. That was the last time her mom heard from her, and she went straight from work to Twisted Fisherman, where she was meeting Maxwell Anderson. I don't care about his middle name, on a first date. All right. First date. Then they moved to Duke's on the Water, which was the last time she was publicly seen before entering his house and never leaving alive. All right. The next day, her car was found arsoned. She was reported missing after she didn't show up for work, which was so out of character for her. Coworkers knew to call the police. All right. And there you have it. All right, let's get back to this. All right, now I want to show you the timeline real quickly, and then we're going to get into the sentencing. I really wanted to go over this first so that you guys can, just anybody that hasn't seen this will know. All right, so Faith and Repent, good to see you, my friend. Everybody else, roll on in, come on in, get comfortable. We're going to be here for a while. Yes, Chief, I have probably 5 ceiling fans. I have AC, like really good AC, 2 ACs, one in my office and a whole AC in the house, like the central air. Yeah, I do. It's just hot, my friends. All right, Deb, this is horrific, and that's what we're going over today. Now, listen, April 1st, and you could see that I've worked on this case quite a bit when you see these things here that I made and done. This case is near and dear to me, and so is Sade, and so are the people that gave the heartfelt victim impact statements. All right. So this is just, you can see here on April 1st, clearly that Maxwell Anderson, which they don't use his name, guys. They call him the demon, what they did. All right. That we don't even want to call him Maxwell. We just call him the demon. Okay. So you can clearly see at 4:15 p.m. she texted her and the demon texted. At 5:09, the demon enters the Twisted Fisherman. They have cameras. At 5:20, Sade enters the Twisted Fisherman from the east. Now they leave at 6:24 p.m. and they both head east. Right, a few minutes past where we are now on a weekend, going out on a date, and that's what we're doing today. The impact statements and the sentencing. He's a demon, and guys, his father and his parents are so much different than the Stearns. And the reason I say that, and I'll tell you when we get there, one thing that Stephen Stearns' parents did do is they turned over that drive with a bunch of CSAM against Stephen Stearns. Second thing they did was in those phone calls, they got clear conversations about Stephen and Maddie's body where she was no longer breathing. There are several things that those parents did that shows you that they were not in denial about who and what Stephen Stearns is. And if you know me, you know I have integrity, and I would have never continued my conversations with Deb Stearns had I not vetted her thought process. Don't think I haven't talked to her in extensive lengths and told her how I feel and what she feels. And we came to a happy medium. But don't think that I would get down with this demon's parents because they don't think he did anything wrong. They bailed him out 10 times, 15 times. He got in trouble in his youth. Lots of different warning signs, ones that aren't necessarily there for a pedo. All right. So you're going to see his dad is ridiculous. All the things they got him out of is ridiculous. They didn't help one iota to get him convicted at all. All right. All right. No, my friend. I just got my house redone. I am good. Oh, you're talking to someone else? I'm only on one floor. Yeah, so sad. So many evil people. My cousin was, I can't say that word. You guys got to say like smurdered or something. All right. So listen, 7 o'clock to 9:06 p.m. They're at Duke's. There's cameras. All right. 9:06 to 9:28, they traveled to the demon's house. By 9:30, guys, 9:30 to 48, what does it say? 0:48 at the house. 3 hours and 19 minutes at the house. By 11:25 on April 1st, it says a human movement, but we're going to say the demon moved in the backyard again. All right, this movement continues on and off until 12:45 a.m. on April 2nd, 2024. You remember, demon was dismembering Sade Robinson. Please also remember that they never found her what they say is a crown. They did not find her head. And I've been following this, the parents. The dad was walking along the beach looking for his daughter's head. She's missing. They never found her head, and they never found an arm. I think I always get confused. So they didn't find her head, and they didn't find an arm. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it was her leg they didn't find, but he went around the city dropping body parts first, starting off at a child's playground. All right. Yeah, but that was because he was attacking them, Tiff. He was attacking and doing mad, crazy stuff to them. They got him out of it every time. And when you see the parents, how they act and all the things that he's gone through, they only turned him in for their own safety, all right? I'll tell you that right now. It wasn't because they wanted Demon Boy to be accountable. They didn't want Demon Boy taking their lives. That's in my opinion, all right? They have found, okay, so now they found all except her head, which is bad enough, right? I'm sure my parents would have me at the police station immediately. Exactly. All right, so we left off the life of Sade was so important, and she didn't get to live that, guys, all right? And that's what we're talking about today. So we're going to take this off. This is going to start sensing, and we're going to chill out together, all right? Now that I cool down, I put my hat back on. All right. Thank you, Jay. This case needs to be shown to all young people. They are evil people lurking. Love from Vermont. Shout out to Vermont. I love you back. Thank you for being here, hanging out. You guys do me a favor. If you forget, hit that like button and then share with your friends. Just because you like the coverage that I provide, not because you like these evil cases, all right? Thank you, Carly. Good to see you here on a Saturday night, all right? Maybe we should start a drama channel. I think there's more people on drama channels than there is on true crime. And I understand that. It's all good. All right, let's go. You guys hang here with me. Let's talk. Let's chat. If you want to say something to me, just put something down there like QQQ. Or if you just want me to chat back, I can. Because right now, we are going to be watching this together. And I'm going to go through all the very important parts, which is most of it. Since says comment to be entered into the algorithm to get prizes or gifted memberships. And that is exactly right. Hit that like, comment in chat, share with your community, and it enters you to get a gifted membership. I'm going to give 5 memberships here in a minute, so stay in here. I say drama channels, meaning crama. If you go onto YouTube right now and you hit the live stream, there's probably 3 channels doing true crime and the rest are doing crama, which whatever, but they get it, the views in, because people like gossip. All right, I like watching 90 Day Fiance, and sometimes the messy crama channels are pretty funny. Not skits and stuff. Not skits, Wyatt. True crime. Take away the true crime and add true crime plus drama equals crama. So they're talking about true crime, but they're also gossiping and all that stuff, all right? Yeah, that is a new one, but that's a real thing, guys. It's a real thing in the community. It's true crime with drama. It's not new, trust me. All right, that might be new for you, but I assure you. All right, let's get into this. He literally says, let's start the sentencing. We're going to let the family speak.
An OWI and a PAC where they can be tried for both. The jury can find them guilty of both, but judgment of conviction for only one can be entered. So the state would think it's appropriate to amend the judgment of conviction by dismissing count 4, hiding a corpse.
At this point, I will vacate the judgment of conviction as to count 4. I will enter a judgment of I guess, acquittal, just to take that off of, would it be a judgment of acquittal, or how would you phrase it?
It's
Just
a
an outright
dismissal.
dismissal.
It's a
So I'm going to
dismissal.
vacate the judgment of conviction, and I'm going to outright dismiss count 4 at this point in time. Okay, now that that matter's been addressed, thank you for reminding me as to that. Let's proceed as to the sentencing.
Exactly. And let's proceed to sentencing and impact statements. But you're right, Michelle. That's exactly where the caller needs to be, is on a true crime drama channel. We are not talking about we're not talking about drama. We're talking about a little girl that was raped and then her life taken, right? I mean, it's not our life. It's not our lives. It's the victim. It's about the victim. It's not about how we feel about what somebody's saying in our screen. Could you guys imagine? Could you imagine watching an episode of Vinnie Politan, and then right after you get off the show, trying to call Vinnie or email him and tell him, I don't like what you said last night. I can't believe you're standing up for blah, da, 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 da. That's not going to go too far. Could you imagine? Just imagine that. Imagine calling up even Grizzly wouldn't even give you guys the time of day. Try sending her an email about something you don't like about her and see how fast she responds. I'm still waiting. And yes, if you want people to call for conversations, and conversations are not one-sided, but you have to stay respectful. That's the thing. Conversations don't have to be one-sided, but don't call me and take your emotions out that you've had for the last however many years on Jay from Guilty of Crime. All right? That's just wild. What's up, Desiree, Krista? Yeah, we're very respectful in letting people have conversations. But when someone comes on here with an agenda and just wants to rip everybody's head off, that's one-sided. All right. Love this judge.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to allow Sade Robinson's family to start off the sentencing by speaking. There are 3 members of her family that would like to speak. First, it will be Adriana Reams, her sister.
Thank you. And I did read her letter in preparation for today as well.
We don't have to watch all this. That's why we're rewatching, but we want to watch what she says. I just fast forward the little parts that don't
Presents his
matter.
grandmother on the verge of heart attack several times.
Oops, that's not what I wanted. This is sad,
Breaking
guys.
down.
Trigger warning, please. All right, guys, before we start, I do have my trigger warning below, but please, 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 this is really hard. This is a really hard topic, and when I watched it, it was giving me tears. So if you don't want to watch something that's really emotional, please don't watch it. Just go somewhere else. You notice the Crime Channels aren't covering cases anymore, and they're arguing between themselves. That's because of me reporting them with their videos to the FBI, and they are being investigated. Wow, Chief, I did notice that, and that's wild that you say that, because it's so disrespectful on one hand for me to talk to you guys about Sade not having a head, and then in the next sentence blasting a creator or the subs, or just so thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that. Okay, she was 19, but her sister, I do not know how old she is. So trigger warning: if you cry or you're feeling bad, do me a favor, just go take a break. All right, take a break. I can't control this and what's going on. So your big feelings probably don't have to do with Jay from Guilty of Crime. They don't have anything to do with me. Trust me. I didn't have anything to do with this case or anything that happened to Sade. All right. Sister 17, thank you.
Breaking down from the combination of the grief, other people's emotions, and the stress of having to deal with all the tedious responsibilities that he left behind when he ended my sister's life. He stole my father's ability to see the work he put in to raise Sade for 18 years pay off by having more than a year of seeing her be a happy, successful adult who still loved and appreciated him.
Damn, guys.
He stole her father's ability to repair his relationship with her and be as close as for her. He stole her chance to ever finally become the mother that Sade always deserved. But most importantly, he stole Sade's chance to be an adult, to choose who she would and would not let into her life, to prioritize herself for the first time and do what makes her happy.
Thank you.
As a result of his actions, I've had to grow up way faster than a 16-year-old should have to.
Thank you.
I had to communicate with law enforcement, take care of my family, physically pick my mother up off of the ground, on top of trying to deal with my own loss, because he left them all too weak and broken to do anything.
Damn, this is rough, guys.
I had to quit my job because Sade got me that job, and the whole time I was there, I worked with her.
And again, guys, we don't victim blame either. And what I want you to understand is that this is a victim. Family members are a victim. Now, Jen Soto, some people that don't think Jen Soto did anything would consider Jen Soto to be a victim. These people are victims. Her mom, her dad, her sisters, her cousin, anybody that is part of the loss is a victim. So please do not bash anybody. I know I had some conversations behind the scenes about the mother, and maybe the mother wasn't around as much as whatever. But you know what? It's kind of like the same predicament as Tyler Wallace. He might not have been there. He might have done his wrong things, but I'm never going to victim blame these people. All right. So let's not do that when we get to certain parts of this. Nobody's bashing. I'm warning now. Nobody is. It's me saying, don't do it.
I saw the effect she had on people, the way everyone lit up from her presence, the way she made everyone, from customers to coworkers feel special, which meant that I had to watch all of that go away. I had to watch and hear time and time again all of the people, many of whom I've never heard of, who were deeply pained by the loss of Sade because of what she meant to them, because of the way that she changed people's lives and generated happiness and erased people's bad days with her smile or her laugh or her hugs or her compliments or her taking things off of other people's plates regardless of how full her own was. I could not continue to be surrounded by people who hurt the same way I did because of the huge impact she had on them regardless of the extent of their interactions. I could not be in places where I could easily be walked over because
yeah, this one's a tough one. And yeah, I'm letting you guys know now. I'm literally behind the scenes right now, guys. Yeah, this trauma is sob worthy. But if you're feeling intense, go for a walk and then come back. I'm literally cleaning up messes from last night still. Montana Mystic, hello, my friend, says Jay is reading the room. That's what I do, but I'm also cleaning up messages because several people got kicked off of my channel last night. I don't know how, but people got blocked, mods, a lot of shit went down last night. So yeah, if you have big feelings, go take a walk. I'm still trying to clean that up as of right now. As we're watching this, I'm trying to clean up last night's stuff. All right.
I no longer had her to advocate for me, as she always did when I had not yet found my own voice.
Wild, wild, wild.
I couldn't go back to a job where I could no longer be getting to spend time with her, whether it was through car rides, shifts together, or sleeping over at her apartment because she always wanted to take care of me. He made it to where I couldn't go to school without people giving me looks of pity or no longer knowing how to interact with me because neither them or I knew what to say, for there was nothing you could say for what he did. He made it to where I cannot ride my bike without random but kind strangers stopping me because they feel the need to pray for me and my family despite not knowing us. He made it to where I cannot trust anyone, not just emotionally, but I cannot meet any person without the fear that they're gonna harm or kill me. Because all my sister did was meet someone, and as a result, he ended her life. He stole my ability to feel momentary happiness without feeling guilty for enjoying my life when I know Sade will never get to enjoy hers. He made it to where I cannot let myself stop doing things because I know that if I have time and space to think, I will break down and I will not be able to start again. He made me miss school and sports and a number of other things because I was searching for my sister's body that he unremorsefully hid from us, knowing that it would cause us extra pain. He made me feel extra anger for the fact that he could be so ruthless and relegate my sister, who took years to build up the confidence to feel like something, back to nothing. He makes me feel extra anger because he still shows no regret and sits here looking stupid without an ounce of guilt for what he did. He stole my sanity because I will spend the rest of my life searching for answers that I'll never get about what he did to my sister and why he did it.
My
Because
eyes already
even though he
watering,
has no life ahead of him, he still refuses to tell us these answers, even though doing so no longer has any ability to hurt him. He stole my resolve when he and his lawyer sat here and tried to paint my sister as some dirty, irresponsible drug addict.
Yes, he sure did. And I'm so glad that these people are stepping up. My eyes are already getting watery, guys. I just feel this I feel this responsibility to finish this case. As you guys know, if you follow me, I've been covering this since the days of JT when we were collabing, and this is a big deal. Also, if you have somebody that's out dating, if you know people or you're in that age where people are out dating with apps, this wasn't even, I don't even think this was an app. I believe she met the demon through a friend, but I think she did all the right things and it still happened. But I want you guys to use this case as an example for people that are out there just freely dating. I know it sucks to be scared and to feel that way, but you gotta be more cautious because look at the stuff that's happening. Thank you so much, Lady for Justice, for the $1.99 super sticker. I appreciate all you guys for being here on a Saturday. Well, I thought she met, no, they were from a friend. It was from a friend. She, remember, Sade was 19 and well, this guy's what, 32? The demon? All right. I don't even know. Yeah, they did. They met through a mutual friend that introduced and Sade said the demon was never her type, but she gave him a chance anyway. All right. Yeah, definitely always be aware of your surroundings. And I was going to do call-ins tonight or have one of the mods or somebody up on the channel with me. And because of what happened last night, I decided not to because that was just too much, too heavy last night.
Or dealer, which could not be further from the truth. A couple of months ago, one of Sade's old teachers gave me a letter that she wrote to me for a school assignment when she was 15. She talked about some of her hardships, and she had so many, which is why it is especially hard to know that as soon as her hard work allowed her to escape many of them, her life was stolen. She said that she wants to be my role model and show me that anything is possible, that she wants to guide me through everything and be my support system. She said that even 5 years ago, she wanted to inspire me to be as independent as she was.
Yes, they are.
And that she hopes she inspires me to do what I want to do in life. She said that everything she does is for me, and she will do anything for me. Even in her 19 years, she was still incredibly hardworking, independent, kind, supportive, selfless, resilient, and special. She continues to inspire me.
All right, you're the bouncer. We got Wyatt as a bouncer number 1 and Chief Rocka as bouncer number 2. Now I know Wyatt isn't 18 yet, but we're gonna treat Wyatt like if he's well, we know Wyatt's a lot smarter. We know he's more mature than people that are in their 50s and 60s. So Wyatt, we welcome you. Be here as much as you like. And hey, if you don't like something somebody's doing, gently tell them that. Same with you, my friend. I'm like the white version of Easy. You guys remember in the beginning when I first started streaming here, we were singing Boys in the Hood and all these songs. And then all the Reddit stuff started happening and we had to like tone it down. Well, guess what, guys? We're going to make sure that these cases have the attention they deserve, all while lightening the mood. All right. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize who was here. Christopher Stearns 2450. Yes, these are the best mods and the best hosts. Did you guys see that? That's awesome. All right. And by the way, last night, guys, it was way unexpected. I didn't even know that Deb, it's not like I say, come on here. I'm going to blast your son. Come on here and listen to me trash talk, or come on and listen to the Crime Crew trash talk. I didn't even know she was going to be here. But remember, everyone, as long as they're respectful, is welcome on the channel. Right? All right, let's go. We got a while to go.
For the fighter that she was. But he took the guide and support system and role model that she was going to be for the rest of my life. He stole my big sister that always protected me and nurtured me and put me first. And he robbed her of her ability to do that and feel accomplished because she knew she was setting me up for a life better than the one she was forced to struggle through.
And she still did great.
He made it to where I cannot read that letter that I should have always cherished and smiled about without crying, because now it is just a reminder of everything I no longer have. He made it to where I cannot speak about her without breaking down or think about her without shaking. To where I cannot even grasp or understand my emotions because they are so overwhelming that I have to be numb to them. He made it to where holidays are no longer a celebration, but a mourning. Here all my future kids have the opportunity to have cousins and an aunt
Thank
to
you.
love and support them.
I appreciate
And
it.
I will never not be haunted and affected by all that he took from me. But what hurts 10 times more is all that he took from her. Sade deserved to be selfish and irresponsible. She was working from the time she was 14 because she did not have anyone she could comfortably rely on, and she felt the need to be self-sufficient. People only ever took from her. They took advantage of her because they knew how kind and generous of a person she was. As she grew, she began to stand up for herself, but she never stopped showing people grace. Never let one or a few bad people ruin her open-mindedness and magnanimousness for everyone she met. As she became more comfortable after saving up hard-earned checks and tips for years and buying her own car and apartment without any help from anyone, she began to dream bigger. She was able to think about more than just getting by and develop career aspirations while remaining responsible and paying all her bills months in advance and still affording to finally enjoy the little free time that she had. Whether it was saving up for big vacations where she could go meet new people and experience new cultures as a social butterfly that she was, or taking a little breather.
And you know what's crazy, you guys? And real quick, it is a great letter. And for her being 16, I believe that Wyatt, you're 16, right? I think Wyatt's 16 or 17. I know he asks people for he asks his parents for permission. I'm sorry. I don't know. There's people messaging me right now besides you, Tiff, people that can't comment. So I don't know what happened last night, guys, but apparently a lot of people were upset about stuff and started kicking people off, maybe reporting them. I don't know. So I don't know. Tiff says she can't comment, and I have other people messaging me that say they can't get in the chat or they're blocked, but I don't see anybody blocked. So guess what, guys? You're going to have to bark at the moon while we're watching this because I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened last night.
And going out on one of her rare nights off between being a full-time college student on top of working over 60 hours a week between two jobs.
I was talking
She
about
had every
Wyatt.
right to, and no matter what picture anyone paints, she was always responsible when she did.
How-
Her independence was finally allowed, and she was finally beginning to be happy. He ended it as soon as it started. He made it so she went through 19 years of hardships and abuse, and then after working hard to escape it, had no life left to be able to enjoy it. No chance to learn from whatever normal minor mistake she made as any 19-year-old does. All she wanted was to be cared for and praised and appreciated, the way she had always done for everyone else, and he instead took her ability to do anything. She was the definition of a fighter, the definition of resilience. She never laid down or backed down, and to know that he took all her power away and stole her ability to fight for herself is the worst thing imaginable.
Damn, she's doing
There
it,
is
though.
nothing that can justify what he did to her.
I don't know if
And
I'd
what
be
he
able
did
to.
was much more than just murder or dismember her. He erased her independence, her ability to fight for herself. He tried to erase her existence and her value. Now I no longer have the opportunity to try and give her everything she
Oh.
gave me.
I'm going to give some memberships right now, guys.
I cannot show her how proud of her I am or how much I looked up to her. But much worse than me, she can no longer make herself proud or make herself anything. And the only one who took that from her is the man sitting right there.
The demon? Call him the demon. Call him the
I
demon.
beg you to not, sorry.
They don't even call him
I
the
beg
man.
you
I
to
was
not let this
surprised.
man have any type of parole.
This
You
demon.
heard his ex-girlfriend describe the psychological abuse and self-harm he tried to impose on her. His behavior is clearly a pattern, and there is no way that after he has demonstrated the extent of what he is willing to do to a person so casually, he should ever walk these streets again. He still refuses to even admit what he did, and the jury and the public did not even have to be there to unanimously know what he did. He is clearly a danger to the public and should never be given another chance to cause anyone such tremendous harm the way he has done to my family.
Thank you.
These law enforcement officers and prosecutors worked countless days working to find the truth. You, us, and the jury sat here for 2 weeks hearing all the heinous things he committed. Do not let any of that go to waste. Do not let the loss of Sade go to waste. This man should never walk free again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Reams. You spoke well on behalf of your sister.
Speaking.
Now we're going to have her mom. All right, guys.
Oh.
So this one is, I might stop a bit on this one because when I was listening and watching this, I was like, man, dang, this one's just. Now, this one's heartbreaking. The mom gets crazy out of control. So if you haven't seen this yet, I love that for her. She stayed respectful, and there was times where she just couldn't. And yes, I'll reach out to you. You and I communicate on a different app that I don't always check, and that's why I didn't see. I haven't seen anything that you said, but yeah, if you guys haven't seen this, yeah, I started off this whole series comparing the demon to Dahmer, and there's a good possibility he might get Dahmered because this is the way this fool acts, and when he talks and doesn't admit what he did, but then he's just a weird, odd, crazy looking. I mean, something's wrong with that demon, obviously. But yeah, I think so. I think somebody's gonna get him prison justice, right? I believe so.
My name is Sheena Scarborough, SHEENA SCarbrough.
Thank you. Would somebody move that Elmo to the
good.
side, please?
You haven't seen this? Good. Yay.
Ms. Scarborough, what would you like to say?
I am the mother of Sade. It's
What?
I've raised my daughters. We are light worker people. We are very angelic individuals. For us to even be here, I'm going to have to ask. I wanted to go before my daughter because I need her to be protected by this heavy demonic energy that is residual.
And I got to tell you guys, in all of the trials that I've watched over the years, I've never seen anything like this where they talk about the light and the dark and the heaviness of evil and demon. That's the kind of stuff that I talk about behind the scenes with my mods or my friends or whoever I talk to. I completely understand the gravity of a situation where it's heavy, whether it be an evil kind of heavy, somebody that rubs me wrong and I'm thinking, man, this person's like bad and evil and whatever. I've never heard anything quite like this in a statement, and I love to hear this. I love that she's so tuned in to whatever it is that she does. So, and she also was a big voice for Sade over the time they were looking for her. She created a website. Maybe she felt bad because she wasn't around enough. But then we see the dad, and the dad breaks my heart as well, right? He breaks my heart because he was out there searching. He stopped working and he went out there to go look for his daughter's head. Who does that? All right. And thank you, Deb. Deb's back here. Chris says hi to all the J followers, and thank you for the kind words. You're welcome. She was full of light too. I think Sade was 10 times more full of light than her mom even. I think her mom found that later in life, et cetera, et cetera. So I do appreciate what she says.
In this courtroom, this devil and his entire demonic family in this courtroom, it's very heavy to where I can't even talk. But Your
Amen.
Honor,
Amen to
I
that.
am asking that everyone in this courtroom be protected
I love it.
through the white light by this devil that sits beside. My daughter referred to you as a man. You will never be a fucking man. You're a pussy ass
Yes,
bitch.
yes,
Ms.
yes.
Scarborough, if you
yes,
could direct your
yes.
comments to me, please.
Yes, Your Honor. First off, Your Honor, I would like to thank you and the entire team for what we all had to endure, which was it was freaking torture to even have to be dragged through what we were dragged through. This demon and his whole ass attorney, they knew exactly what he did and what he was responsible for. They took us through extreme agony and pain. We are already dealing with so much trauma. There's no such thing as justice with what you did to my daughter, and what you have done to my family. I have bust my ass for over 20 years to raise the best possible angelic light worker kids.
And you did, my friend. You did. I don't know her personally, but I have so much love for that family and what she's saying. And I am pissed off that they didn't let her address the demon like they did in the BK case because they let them direct it at BK, right? And I think that's messed up that they didn't, but she gets off track a couple times and it's got me rolling. I mean, I don't blame her. I'm surprised she didn't get up and attack that guy. I probably would have. I would have been arrested right then and there.
That do nothing but good. My daughter had to cross your demonic path. You plotted and planned to kill, dismember, then you disrespectfully spread my daughter across the Milwaukee like a piece of trash. How dare you?
Ooh,
My daughter was
mad right now.
everything. She was everything to all of us.
Perfectly said.
As my baby explained, she had a different impact in each and every one of our lives. There's so many strangers and individuals in the community that I have engaged and met that she has touched and impacted. This has affected the world, the community in such extreme ways. There's no way in hell we should have even ever went through this freaking trial that you
Agreed.
drug us through.
Agreed.
You knew you were guilty. You're negligent, mammy and pappy, them demons. I'll deal with them later. But I want you to know that you can no longer hurt my baby. She's in heaven. She's protected. We roll deep. My ancestors roll deep.
Amen.
When you touch my daughter, you fuck with the wrong family. We ain't no
Amen.
pussy bitches, and you should have never touched my daughter.
Real talk, guys. Real talk. You can see her seething there, man. She wants to rip his head
My
off,
daughter
guys.
helped everyone. She fed homeless. She worked 2 jobs. Everything Adriana said. The community knows who my daughter was. Everybody knows who my daughter was. How dare y'all even pull that whole shit about that meth? You will not drag my daughter's name down trying to plot and set up stuff. You're going to carry my daughter's name the correct way in her legacy. You and your family will be held fully responsible for the rest of your life. You will be eternally hunted.
Oh my God, this part. And I have to stop, right? Because you can't just sit there and play it. Last time I got caught up in the Lori Vallow one that I was watching with you guys. And because I was so into it and not commenting, they pulled it down. So, right, when you're watching something on YouTube and you're reacting to it, you got to stop and react to it. But I do, when I watched this the first time, the whole time I was just like behind her. I was over there like if I was sitting behind her in the courtroom. And I was just so many emotions here, so many emotions that I'm feeling right now watching this again. So, man, I just love what she says here. And yeah, Carly, I love that she pulls herself back and then you can see her seething. She stops and you can see her breathing through it. And it's great. All right. Just great. All right. Let me press play and I'll check chat again.
By myself. My ancestors, I know you cannot sleep at night. They have already been at you. You will never get peace. You will never sleep.
It sounds familiar, huh? Mystic, or not Mystic.
You no longer can harm and hurt my innocent baby. You took advantage of her. You manipulated her in the worst possible way.
Montana Mystic. Does that sound like...
You're a coward. My daughter is a hero. My daughter is a hero. She has saved so many other women from this demonic serial killer.
That very
there's
true.
No telling how many more people that he has killed.
Agreed. That when I heard those comments, and especially that one, that I agree. And for Sade being a light worker, which I believe she was probably 10 times the light worker that her mom and some of the other family members, just by seeing what she did, who she was, what she encompassed, and knowing that when you work in that, a lot of people don't even probably know what I'm talking about, but Mystic, Montana does. And people tell me before I even came on here before, people would tell me that I'm a light worker, that I'm in, and I don't even know about that. I don't walk around saying I'm a light worker, but I guess what that means is you stay on the side of light and don't put yourself in dark, negative, evil situations under any circumstances, whether you like somebody or not. You should be able to have a conversation or anything with people, with other people, without going so low. That's what that means. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mystic Montana. I always forget because you guys change your names. Tell me if you what you think about that as well, because people don't understand that so much, and I just love it. Yeah, ancestors. I can't type that for nothing. Exactly, she does. All right.
If you had any type of decency, but you are a devil.
Amen.
If you had any type of core piece of anything left in your demonic soul, or if your parents, your devil parents, had any type of respect, I don't even know how they could sleep at night, knowing what type
Well,
of
they can't.
demon son they raised, and then
They're
tried to
not.
cover it up. Y'all tried to flip that house. Y'all done did so much whole shit. It don't make no damn sense.
Damn.
All y'all karma is gonna be a bitch.
Okay, bring it back down.
And I'm getting each and every one of you eternally. I'm getting the whole entire family tree. Know that. Your
I love
sister, all
her.
them. Each
I love
member of
her.
your family tree will be eternally hunted by my ancestors. We're light workers.
Now, again, she's trying to stay in the light here, but she's very angry about what happened to her baby girl, and they didn't need to put anybody through this trial in the way that they did. It's ridiculous, and it's ridiculous. You know what's even more ridiculous is that damn statement that the demon makes at the end. I don't even know how they can let him say that and what he did. All right, you say, yeah, though I will walk the valley of death, I fear no evil, because do you know who I am? Do you know what I can do? I love this mom. Yeah, she is a badass. What's up, Lil Red? Good to see you, my friend. I know it's very hard to listen to. So that was your cousin, Shay? Bless you as well. Bless you as well. You would know how she was to be around. I'm sure she was a lovely person that only brought goodness and not negativity. Man, I know she's trying to stay as light as she can, but boy, is she getting angry
I
here.
don't even have to touch you. The spiritual realm already been at you. I can see it in your eyes. You can't even sleep at night, you hoe ass. Judge, I did want to thank you and the entire community, the officers, the team, Ian, Donner, this whole entire community and team has stood 10 toes behind us. This has been extremely traumatic. This is not even my character. I don't move like this. I've been advocating and helping others my entire life. I come from a mental health background. This was not supposed to happen. This was not a part of our plan. Me and my daughters had goals. They are both very academically gifted and talented. They are overachievers. For this to happen, and we have bust and worked our behinds off in life, and then to have all of this noise about the millionaire murderer's son comes and takes my daughter. I don't give a freak about what your color status or how much money you got. You ducked with the wrong family.
Yes.
Because I don't play. You thought you was going to get away.
Oh, man.
But I'm going to respectfully
Yes.
request that you confess where the rest of my daughter's crown is. If you have any respect left for me.
And listen how she said that. She said to confess and tell us where my daughter's crown is, which is her daughter's head. But I got to tell you, when I heard this, you guys, I was like, before I get to that, I want to thank everyone except his hoe ass. And she's very powerful like her daughters. But the reason I'm laughing at this is because she's so respectful and she's trying to stay so on track. But when it comes to her daughter, Sade Robinson's head, it wasn't found. But I got to tell you guys something. As I watch this and watching the other things and just watching everything that happened, I don't think he can produce a head. I think he did something with it, whatever his weird compulsions about and powerful, him feeling powerful, taking a life, dismembering it, walking around and dropping body parts off. I really do think he did something really nefarious with her head. All right. I do. I don't think he can tell them where it is because I don't think that it's around. I think he did something disgusting with it. And, I would dare to even say that he tried to do whatever on it, tried to cut it open or even I dare I say, taste it like Dahmer, take a piece of it and cook it up and just the weirdest, grossest thing that you can think. I don't think it's in the walls. I don't think it's in the walls and I don't think it's buried. They went through the house. They ripped that house up because they were in the basement. I saw the nasty pictures of the basement and I don't know that he's a cannibal, but I would not put it past his sick, disgusting demon self that he didn't do something with her head. Yeah, Dahmered it. That's what I'm going to say. I really don't think he can produce that. I don't think it's buried at all.
And her father and her sister and the rest of my family in this community.
I don't think so. I think he did something with it.
You've already done the worst. You can at least give us that much. You have messed the entire community up. People can't even take walks and go to the park, and everybody's in trauma.
No.
This was not your first time doing this.
That was not his first time doing it. And the reason I'll tell you that is because nobody, and I mean nobody, that is the first time taking a life is going to be able to dismember somebody in the way that he did. He pulled it off flawlessly. It only took hours to do what he did. And then the way he strategically put the parts, this is not his first time. He did not live by himself. He lived in the basement with his parents. All right. Friends and families of victims are victims too. You are not forgotten. Right.
All your dark is going to come to the light. If you or your devil parents had any type of decency of respect as humans with morals,
no way.
There's nothing else there's no excuse for what you did to us, what you did to my daughter.
I thought he lived in the basement.
My daughter is now protected. You can't hurt her. You can't take advantage of her. But know that you messed with the wrong one. You weren't getting away.
Okay, so they showed the basement. I think he didn't live with his parents, but they got him that place. Something about that. Tiff, when you say a comment, maybe he didn't live with his parents. He what? If he didn't live with his parents, he lived by himself. His parents bought the place. Okay, he lived on the top floor and has a roommate at the bottom. Okay, so I would love to show those pictures right now, but we're gonna get through this. So the house that he was in was disgusting. I saw the crime scene pictures, and there's no way that head was down there in that place, wherever it was that he lived with a roommate on the bottom, whatever. I don't think so. And thank you, Tiff, for correcting me. He lived on the top floor. Did you guys see the crime scene photos? You probably did.
With this one. You will be dealt with eternally, like I stated. But your honor, Judge, I'm asking that this demon
his
be
parents bought
respectfully returned back to hell as soon as possible. That's what I'm requesting through the court. Please return him back to hell as soon as possible.
We're going to finish this part, but let's return him back to hell. And yeah, thank you, Kathleen. His dad bought him the place. I remember them calling him the millionaire boy, the millionaire son, or whatever. So I know his parents enabled him greatly. And I literally only watched this, but I covered this case way before Maddie, I believe, or during Maddie. And I had, I don't know how, I've got episodes and episodes. So maybe I should look back at the details, but there you go, Kathleen. He's a true baby boy. All right. They shared the basement. Thank you. Yes. I remember the basement. He would go to wash the clothes and there'd be shit in the clothes. I remember the roommate saying that he went down there to do clothes and he couldn't because the demons are freaking slob and whatever. But his parents put a hazard tape across his doors. No, they did not. But yeah, he's a bad guy. He's a weirdo and he's evil.
No possibility of life without parole, the maximum. And this devil should not be given any more special millionaire privileges being held in certain populations. He needs to be, not he, but that devil needs to be placed in a population with the rest of the demons that harm and hurt individuals, the murderers, the serial killers,
Yep.
the felons. You are not on no special privileges. Your money is not going to
Amen.
protect you.
No.
It's a done deal. Sade's justice is just now beginning, and you and all of your family will eternally pay for what you did to us.
Thank you, Ms. Scarborough.
Amen. Who didn't love that, right? Now let's look at this weirdo freak. Hold on, before I want you guys to see his face, because when I was watching this, when it happened, I watched it as it happened, all with you guys, and I look at this freaking demon, and he just looks like, number one, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't want to be there. You can tell that he woke up. They dragged him in there. He threw some clothes on. He looks all greasy headed and dark circles under his eye. He doesn't give two shits about Sade or that family, and he's not going to ever tell them or admit it. He does look evil. He absolutely looks evil. He looks almost like he's confused with a bit of like, what am I doing here? None of us could ever get in the mind of somebody like this. Closest I can think of is Dahmer. Now, remember, this is Sade's dad, and this guy is really soft-spoken and humble. I was surprised. I thought he was going to come on here and rip a new one, but he didn't. But he has been walking around looking for his daughter's body parts, taking off work, doing everything that he could. And now here's what he has to say. Yes, inbred. He does look inbred.
My daughter was an amazing person.
Mm-hmm.
She lit up every room she walked into.
Of course she did. I want to give the dad a hug.
She changed my life from
Yeah.
her birth. Literally changed my life. She gave me a reason to think more of make me realize life is bigger than myself.
Yes, first of all, I love this father. I love his you could see he's just a kind soul. He's hurting inside, and which we're gonna listen to the demon's father. It's not only disgusting, but when you hear all the things behind it that they've let baby boy get away with, and all the signs that were there, all the things that they actually could have done, because they tell us what happened. They tell us the times that he got out. They tell us everything that we need to know. And it's disgusting what the dad says. And we're going to listen to that together, because that's part of this today, part of the stream today. All right. I'm all screwed up tonight. I was stuck in 30 minutes ago. You got to fast forward, man. Fast forward. Yeah, always hashtag Rush Gen Soto on this channel, right? We're going to be saying that until I finish streaming on this channel.
We had an unbreakable bond, me and her. Talking to her was like talking to myself a lot of times. I used to tell her she was the innocent part of me.
He did to me too.
What
don't forget, hit that like button if you come in or come out.
Children, that's sometimes a part of life. I understand that.
Yeah, do me a favor, y'all. You guys know the drill. Today I'm not here for I didn't think a lot of people would show up, just the people that always show up. So thank you. I appreciate that. And don't forget to hit the like button if you come in or you leave. And if you have the means to get yourself a membership and you're not in green, or you can gift memberships to those that don't have them, please and thank you. All right, let's go. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been covering this case since day one. You guys might not know that because I've been covering Maddie's case, but I cover so many other cases. So please go check out my channel and check out my playlist if you don't already know. I have hundreds of cases on there and thousands of videos. All right. Yeah, he does. How dare you? All right. I want to hug this dad.
But to lose your child in this manner is unthinkable. No, I've tried therapy and
Thank you.
all kind of treatments, and
Oh,
it's nobody can
hey,
help me
Jared,
get
thank
through this
you.
process because everybody says nobody has ever been through this. What he has done
I know.
is inconceivable. And to know that there's a chance I might not even have her completely to be able to put her at peace brings me night terrors and
That also, I thought that was cute. I hear people from different areas of, let's say, United States call them nightmares, and when someone calls them night terrors, I always find that I find it interesting the way they say that. I love this dad so much. I expected more outrage, and I'm so glad that he didn't have that outrage, because that's what people would expect from a man of his, even of the community, when they were trying to blame Sade for what happened and say she was an addict, etc. You're not green anymore. What? All right. Can someone drop which members link? And which don't forget, we give away a ton of things on this channel for those that are members, and we give things away for those that aren't members. So thank you so much for becoming a member. I see you in OB's chat from time to time, and those are all still my friends behind the scenes. So thank you for being here. There are some really good, seriously good creators out there on YouTube that are humble and nice, and they want to work together. So there's still a few of those, a few leftovers. All right. Night terrors are different than nightmares. Interesting. But tell me the definition and I'll pop it up there, Foxy. When I hear people say night terrors, I just assume that it's a nightmare. I never really studied what it was. All right. Yeah. The God mod. Foxy, the God mod. The God mod. All right. See, I even hit my hat off because I got so excited. I'm going to gift 5 more memberships right now, guys. All right. So let's go. What's up, B-Back? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Thanks for rolling in. Hit the like button. All right. Aight.
constant mental chaos. He has this. My daughter had a lot of life left to live.
Yeah, she just started.
We talked a lot about her future.
Interesting.
When she decided to come to live with me, and I got custody of her, I started to take her to colleges and things like that. And because before then she had.
God, I love this dad so much. Anybody that has a dad like this, hug him tight after you get off of here. And night terrors are essentially panic attacks while you're sleeping. Nightmares are just bad or disturbing dreams. Interesting. I didn't know that, but maybe I had a night terror when I was the first time I ever read the charges from Stephen Stearns in the Madeline Soto case and those 60 SA charges. I think I had a night terror because I woke up in a panic attack and I was having a night terror probably about my daughter in the place of Maddie, because that's what I associate with, because my daughter's 10, right? Baby Guilty is 10. And that was the first time I felt like it was really happening. I jumped out of bed and was like, damn, I can't read that. And every other time I never read through those because it was way too graphic. What's up, Jennifer? How you doing, my friend? Night terrors cause sleep apnea where you can stop breathing. Interesting. All right. Let's keep going. You learn something new every day.
And no goals to go to college or anything like that. So I took and she got the experience, and she started to change her perception of her goals and what she wanted to be and what she wanted to do. She had so much life left to live, so many goals that was taken from her. And to me, it's not just what that she's not here, it's the way that she's not here. I can't.
He can't process it. He's about to get into not being able to process it, and he probably still hasn't. I mean, the fact that he took work off like that and was looking and looking and looking for her, you can tell in the way he's talking here, he has a lot of processing to do. It's so much different, you guys. And by the way, I gifted 5 more memberships, so make sure in order to get a membership, you have your gifting on, all right, and you got to hit that like and then comment in chat. I get sleep paralysis, but no demons, luckily, right? And welcome all the new people to the crime crew. Thank you for being here.
I can't wrap my mind around it. Somebody that does something like this doesn't even deserve. I think death is a way out. You deserve what you get. Exactly. He deserves the punishment that he gave to my daughter.
Yep.
Everything that he did should be done to him. That's how I feel. To me, that's justice. I don't feel like he has a right to walk around and breathe air,
right?
Eat breakfast, brush his teeth. He doesn't have that right. The moment he done what he did, he lost that.
Right. And I got to say, him dismembering, I got to get back to that just for a second. And what's up, Norma? How you doing? I got to get back to the dismembering, because the thing is I've heard many people talk about doing that. Recently, Taylor Schabusiness, I watched the new Taylor Schabusiness with the phone call and some of the things that she said that hadn't been out. And she talked about what she did to Shad Therion. Shad was Therion, yeah, Shad. She talked about, now I'm talking about Taylor Schabusiness, talked about dismembering her victim, and she said that it was tough. She started doing it and she didn't know what she was getting into. She ran out of steam, and halfway through dismembering him, she's like, screw this. I'm just going to take a piece here, do this, and then dip out, because it takes a lot of not only physical energy, but imagine your mental state to be doing something like the way he did in that time frame. Yeah, Taylor's demonic individual, and just as demonic as this guy that doesn't admit it. There's no way that's the first time that he did this before. Yes, Taylor got lazy, and I guarantee you that's not the first time he did this either. No way you're going to go for the attack and take someone's body parts apart. No way be able to nail it like that in the way that he did without having experience at it. Never going to believe that. They should look into other cases around him.
Basic human rights. No man should be able to live doing what he did.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
Yep.
And I try to.
And hello, Evie. Welcome, Evie.
Make peace, because I am a man of God, and I try to do learn forgiveness. But I can't get past this. I can't.
That's it. Mic drop.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Deborah Myers. All right, so we've got Sade's sister that talked, Sade's mom that talked, and now Sade's dad. All right, and thank you for being here, Deborah Myers, on a Saturday night, wrapping up the Sade Robinson case. And Evie AK from England, what's up? All right, I'll put that up. And what's up, Janet? Faith and Repentance. They can cause, as PTSD went reading about night terrors, sleep apnea can cause them too, as well as PTSD. All right. Yeah, he doesn't. Look at just watch this demon as they go through this and watch his face. He almost looks like he's confused about life. Look at him the whole time. He just it doesn't know what's going on. I wonder if they put him on medication. All right, who's next? What's next?
Your Honor, as the court is aware, there's 3 overarching things that the court must consider when sentencing an individual. The first would be the gravity, the seriousness of the offense. The court also has to consider the defendant's character, and the court has to consider the
no character
need to protect the public. The defendant was found guilty of 3 crimes. Count 1 carries with it a mandatory sentence of life imprisonment. The only consideration as it comes to count 1 is whether or not the court makes Mr. Anderson eligible for extended supervision at some point after serving
Why?
20 years of initial confinement. The
Right?
state's request and recommendation of the court today is to impose life imprisonment and not make the defendant eligible for extended supervision as it goes to count 1. As to count 2 and count 3, the state would be recommending the court impose the maximum sentences and run those consecutive to one another and consecutive to the life sentence on count 1.
Why would you
To
ever
begin
let
with
that guy
The
out? It doesn't make
seriousness of the
sense.
offense.
I don't understand why anybody would consider letting the demon out. Who would? I mean, why? Why not just give him life without the possibility of parole? He's lucky that there's not a death penalty on the table. And this is in Milwaukee, right? Where Dahmer was, and he didn't get that either. So what? I can see the full moon out the back. I'm going to have to go outside after this and go check out the moon because it's not even dark here yet. It's still light outside. All right. Yeah, they should never even consider letting him out. He's never going to be rehabilitated. He's been like this since he was a youth. I'm sure he has done some awful things to other people. We heard from his ex and how bad he is. Why? Why even let this guy out? Or why even have the possibility of that?
Obviously, the court was here for the jury trial. I want to just highlight what I think the most important things were as it relates to what considerations there are today at sentencing. On April 1st, 2024, Sade Robinson went to work at Pizza Shuttle like it was any other day. She had had that job for a while. The day began like any other day. She left her apartment on Commerce Street, went to work, and then later on in the day was texting with the defendant.
It does.
And they agreed to meet up after she got off work around 5 p.m. They went to Twisted Fisherman. They were there from shortly after 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m.
An hour.
And then they went
he knew
to
what
Dukes on Water, Sade driving them both in her Honda Civic, and they stayed there until about 9 p.m.
I think he knew what he was going to do before he met her, you guys.
They left Dukes on Water. They went to Maxwell Anderson's house at 3161 South 39th Street. Again, Sade Robinson driving her 2020 Honda Civic. And they remained in his house for several hours.
Yep.
And what we know is that while at his house, Sade became incapacitated. She was grabbed, groped, had her clothing removed.
So trigger warning on this, guys, and anything that we talk about with this case, because he dismembered her and then spread her around everywhere. I definitely think it was premeditated. I think he knew before he even met her that night what he wanted to do. And he went straight for it, because if you look at that time frame from minute to minute to minute to hour, that's all it took. All right, Shay says, I need to stop listening to true crime. I can't sleep at night anymore. And what's up, Cynthia? Just getting here. Come on in. We just got started. We always just get started. No, we've been here for a while.
Until she was removed from his house around 12:45 a.m. going into April 2nd. She was taken from the defendant's house by the defendant in her own car.
Hello.
And driven around the county. And the defendant chose to ultimately go to what
Agreed.
was his secret beach at Warnemont Park and dispose of
beach.
Sade Robinson in the early morning hours of April 2nd. He took her body down to the shores of Lake Michigan. He cut her up into pieces
There you go. Trigger
and
warning.
disposed of her in the lake, mostly in the lake. And then he took her car, left Warnemont Park, drove to the north side of Milwaukee, set her car on fire on 30th and Lisbon. In the course of doing that, in the course of disposing of her vehicle, he also discarded her left leg in the 31st and Galena playground, just a couple blocks away.
And remember, that was the first body part or the first any kind of evidence that was left. If you guys have been following this case since day one, especially the people that are local, you remember that it hit the news station, breaking news. There was a leg found at the playground, where the children's playground. Yes, some of you don't even remember this exactly how it happened, but it started off from piece to piece to piece of Sade Robinson. Damn.
From where he set her car on fire.
And then that.
He
Then
calmly walked away and walked to a bus stop and returned home by a Milwaukee County Transit bus, and then went about his life as if nothing happened. He went to work that day at Dugout 54.
That's wild. Yeah, you've been here with me. You've been
Later
here
that
day
night,
one.
April 2nd, Sade's right leg was found on the shores of Lake Michigan at Warnemont Park.
He just
And
dropped
shortly
body
after
parts
that,
on
on the
him.
night of April 2nd, she was reported missing to police. For the next several days, as her family and friends wondered where she was, there
Yep,
were searches underway,
he
and
was.
additional remains of hers were then recovered at the 31st and Galena playground. The police investigation allowed them to learn that the defendant was the last person she was with, the last person she communicated with, and he was ultimately arrested on April 4th.
You're welcome.
Days later, her torso
No.
was found badly decomposed, washed ashore in South Milwaukee. He had
Exactly.
cut off both of her legs, cut off one of her arms, cut off one of her breasts,
That too, guys.
and
that
cut off
too.
her head.
All right, so that was one of the things, as well as and again, trigger warning, we were, when I was listening to this and here, I didn't know that he did that with her breast. And that is such a, like a way to demean a person, to take away the human side of a person, what he did. Yes. And again, I've been following this case. I remember they said there's another Jeffrey Dahmer in Milwaukee, and all they did was find parts at first until they realized who it was, where Sade was. Immediately, they found the different cameras from the different places. Sade told whoever she told, maybe family members, friends, that she was going on a date. She let everybody know. She's very transparent, and they found the footage. All right. The one he was holding in the picture. Of what? All right. I think that might be part of it. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. You say she had a tattoo on her breast, and I think that's why he did that. Possibly. Either way, it's very demeaning to do something, and it's definitely sending a sign when you do something like that. All right. I hope that she was not alive when he did that. All right. I really do. I don't think she was. I hope not.
Her head has never been recovered. As you can tell from what you've read in the letters and heard today, Sade was a completely innocent victim. She died alone in an unfamiliar place. Her last moments had to have been terrifying. And then after being killed, she was disgraced in the worst way imaginable. Having her body cut into pieces, having her head cut off by the defendant who tried to make her disappear from the world.
Like she didn't exist.
So when the court is looking at the seriousness of what Maxwell Anderson did, you have to consider who Sade was. She was a 19-year-old young woman,
Thank you,
totally
Sharon.
innocent. And as you've learned through the statements today, the PSI, hearing her friends and family testify.
Now, real quick, I'd love to be able to tell you that. I'm not sure. How do you say that? I'm going to call you Kara right now because I'm not sure. But listen, we don't know how she passed because he dismembered her and they started finding different body parts at different times. So we there's no way to really say. We don't know. Maybe he strangled her, but we don't know because they've never found her crown, like the mom says. It's horrible. It's a horrible way to go out. All right. And thank you, Sharon, for what was it? I'll just say the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker, my friend.
She was just getting into adulthood. She had just gotten that apartment on North Commerce. She had just bought that 2020 Honda Civic. It was a point of pride for her. It was it was a marker of adulthood, a marker of independence. She was ambitious. She had dreams.
I didn't see
it.
She
wanted to succeed. She wanted to be productive. She wanted to.
Let me know, anybody. I never saw any COD. But then again, I never saw the autopsy report. But there were just body parts. So how would they know? I don't know. Let me know in chat if anybody that's been following this case knows what the official COD. I think it's undetermined, my friend. I cannot imagine that it would be a determined thing with finding different parts that were already dismembered. I could imagine them saying that maybe being able to find out what tools that he used, because you can see the cuts and things, but I just can't. COD is smurder. Yeah, I would bet a big amount of money that it was undetermined. Since as fact, the autopsy of a 19-year-old Sade Robinson, whose body parts were found along Lake Michigan, was ruled homicide, but the COD, exactly what I said, undetermined. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think there is a way to determine that. I don't see how.
School. She worked 2 jobs.
How would you know?
And as you know,
thank you.
She was adored and loved by everybody. By all of those around her. Her coworkers, her family, her friends, everybody.
He almost looks like he's getting choked.
This is the most heinous crime this court will see. It doesn't get more serious than this.
Right.
And it shows that the defendant has a depraved heart, and he has demonstrated a total lack of remorse, lack of accountability.
No, I think he
And the
planned.
gravity of this offense supports never letting him out of prison.
I really think Montana Mystic, if you watch this trial and you watch the case unfold and you listen to his ex-girlfriend talk about him and any other person that talks about him and how violent that he gets and these outrages, I don't think that it was a thing of the moment. I really, truly think that he knew that night that he was going to meet her, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do with her when he got back to the house. I think it was way too cold, calculating, and too fast of a time. If you watch those times, like go back to the beginning and you'll see the messages and how many minutes, how long they were at this place, how long they were at his house. And then when he reappears, there's no way, in my opinion, that this was just some off of the, just like unplanned thing that he did. No death penalty case. And I think maybe because there's no death penalty in Wisconsin, otherwise Dahmer would have got it. Oh wait, Dahmer and Taylor Schabusiness, right? Because Taylor Schabusiness was a Dahmer wannabe, and she's also in Milwaukee, correct?
When considering the defendant's character.
Thank you.
We look at, for one, his criminal record. He has 6 prior criminal convictions. They are outlined in the pre-sentence report, and I think it's worth going.
And let me just be honest here, guys. Let me tell you something real quick. First of all, everybody said that Sade would never have dated that guy, that demon. That was not her type at all. But she gave him a chance because a friend and she was a good person. She lived in the light. He was a lot older than her, number one. And number two, I don't think that she was his type. I think that this demon thought, if I can, there's a black girl in this city, and I bet you nobody's going to miss this black girl. And then I'm going to sit there and tell people that she's a DRUG addict, because he did that. He started talking about how she did METH, which wasn't true. I think he thought this is just another black girl and nobody's going to notice that she's missing. I don't think she was his type, other than to do what he did, and vice versa. All right. That's what I think. Just my opinion. I don't think he thought anybody would care about one more person in that community. It happens all the time, but he did pick the wrong family. Definitely did.
Going through some of those, all of those, and the other conduct that's described in that report, to get an idea of his character, and then to look at how that behavior was reflected in what he did to Sade. In 2014, he was convicted of a disorderly conduct domestic violence incident. There was a read-in charge of disorderly conduct. This incident involved a domestic disturbance where he became violent during an argument with his mother. He damaged some property, pushed his mother, got into a physical altercation with his mother's fiance at the time, and it resulted in that person sustaining an injury, and Mr. Anderson himself sustained an injury during that. He was convicted, as I said, of disorderly conduct, and he was...
All right, so if you guys want to know the signs, if you want to say, I wonder if his parents had any indications, I wonder if anybody had any indications about the monster that he is or what he's done, just listen to this part carefully, because this part tells you everything you need to know. The warning signs were there. He's been wild from when he was a child up until adulthood. This is not something that just happened and everybody was, oh, what, really? No, this is more than that, as they're describing right now. And boy, did he pick the wrong person.
Given a fine. In 2015, he was charged and convicted with another disorderly conduct, domestic abuse crime, criminal damage to property, and misdemeanor witness intimidation. There was another charge of criminal damage to property dismissed and read in. This incident also involved a domestic disturbance, this time with his grandparents, where he again became violent, threw things around, punched a hole in the wall, broke a phone. When his grandparents tried to call the police, and then he left.
Just go buy him a house.
This time he was placed on probation and fined. He was discharged from probation.
All right, Fox.
Fast forward to 2020, he was convicted of disorderly conduct. He had a dismissed and read-in count of misdemeanor battery. This incident involved the defendant beating up a man on Wisconsin Avenue when the man purportedly tried to intervene in an argument between the defendant and a female that the defendant was with.
See?
There was a
Warning
video
signs.
taken by a bystander that showed the defendant on top of the victim, hitting him with a closed fist in the head while the victim was on the ground trying to protect himself. Ultimately, again, he was convicted of disorderly conduct. He was placed on probation.
That's it? What?
He had previously picked up an OWI first offense, and then in 2022, he was convicted of OWI second offense after being pulled over going 70 and a 30 after 2 a.m.
Yeah.
He was given a breath test and came back at a 0.145, and during this incident was...
And I'm going to bet you guys, that he got out of a lot of this stuff because his parents do have money and they did buy their way out. I don't know anybody else that can go out of their house and go attack someone, being drunk, punching them, people taking video, and then just get out with a misdemeanor. Do you? Tell me that's not a huge warning sign. Yeah, white boy privilege. And when you say Lisk vibes, Lisk took people that nobody would notice. And that's why he got away with it for so long. But this demon picked the wrong family. And I'm pretty sure he thought it would be she'd be an easy target. Nobody would even notice. I mean, the fact that he burned her car, what he did to her is disgusting.
Also cited for disorderly conduct for urinating on the interview room that he was taken to by police after his arrest.
And he pissed in the
There's
interview
a
room.
2015 incident mentioned in the PSI. It's not a criminal conviction. It's just an operating without a license forfeiture. And then the PSI also brings about this 2010 incident where he was.
Now, make sure you stay here for the duration of this, because as this unfolds even more, it's very wild to hear the other side of this say that all of this that we're hearing right now wasn't a big deal, and that it wasn't an indicator of what was to come. They tried to make it seem like it was just no big deal. It was just a simple being drunk in public. Now, this was a huge warning sign that nobody stopped. All right. I'll check Maxwell's age. I know he was a lot older than Sade.
Caught at what appears to be an underage drinking party, and after being detained, became belligerent, vulgar with police, urinated in the police vehicle that he was put inside.
He likes to pee on things.
Since being arrested for this case, he has been in the Milwaukee County Jail. There have been numerous instances of misconduct while in the jail. Some of those are talked about in the PSI as well. I was provided with approximately 21 incidents of disciplinary infractions during his time at the jail.
So listen, he's 34 years old right now, guys. The demon is 34. He probably was 33 when this happened, and Sade was only 19. All right.
Usually involving verbal abuse to jail staff, name calling, non-compliance with the rules. There was one incident of him defecating on himself during transport.
Damn, he has
after
poopy
one of the
pants.
days of the jury trial.
He's a poopy pants. He likes
And
to
another
pee and poop
incident
on things.
where he had apparently damaged some property, an electrical box in the jail. Generally, his behavior while he's been in custody for this case at the jail, he's been a nuisance. What I think is important to take away from all of that
Crapped and
is
pissed himself.
that this was not an isolated incident of violence. He has demonstrated in the past.
That was the word I was looking for. This was not an isolated incident, and they're trying to make it sound like it was. So after this, when you hear that, you're going to be upset and mad the way they try to just say that none of it had anything to do with what was going on. It was no big deal. Yeah, he's an animal. Animals poop and pee all over everything. Right.
Asked.
At least they're
He
trained.
is capable of acting violent. But I think what speaks most to his character is the depravity of what he did in this case. I think all of that shows he has a violent, dangerous character, and also supports this court not giving him an opportunity at extended supervision.
Yep.
As far as the need to protect the public, it simply couldn't be higher here. As I stated, this is the worst kind of crime there is, done in the worst way, leaving a family and a community shattered and distraught. And the public needs to be protected from this type of behavior, and life imprisonment guarantees that. This incident had, as this court is aware, a tremendously negative impact on the community at large, on the public. The public was.
And when I say like an animal, I'm not disrespecting animals. I mean like a rabid, wild animal. I don't mean like a fluffy, cute little dog or a cat or whatever. Or the cute little animals can be potty trained, but wild, feral, nasty animals, that's what I'm referring to.
Completely shaken by this. Members of our community, young women in particular, deserve to feel safe, deserve to feel like they can meet new people, go on a date,
feral
and
animals,
not fear for their safety.
Rabid
He
animals.
took that sense of security away from countless people, and he does not care.
Yep, and he's probably done it
The
before.
last thing I would highlight is the impact on the victim and the victim's family. Anytime there is a loss of life, it's going to have a tremendous negative impact on a family. But what happened to Sade Robinson was not just tragic, it was an unconscionably vicious act of violence
Hey,
that
Sandra.
violated her dignity. He had her unconscious, was grabbing her, groping her, removing her clothing. He killed her. He then cut her body into pieces and sought to have her disappear.
Trigger warning, if it already doesn't say below. And yes, Montana Mystic, I'm going to read this so people don't think I have an arrest record. When I read this, I'm like, wait, what a minute. What are you saying? You're 65 and have never been arrested like me? No, period. Montana Mystic, 65 and has never been arrested. Like you, Jay, and I see the people in their 20s and 30s with rap sheets the size of Manhattan. All right. There's commas for a reason, Montana Mystic. And you know, I'm just playing with you. All right. Emily says, hey, Jay, I'm catching up on last night's live, and oh boy, I'm very irritated. LOL. I had to pause it to leave a comment under the video. Hey, you guys missed out. Whoever was not on that live stream last night, go rewatch it. And if you're going to be triggered or irritated, rightfully so. I did my best to not get irritated and triggered. I tried to stay even killed, even for the people that thought it was okay to just dominate the stream and just spew out how they feel without the consideration of others. So yeah, you guys definitely missed out.
It was simply evil and heartless behavior. And anytime a child is lost, a family obviously is going to grieve and going to suffer. But in this instance, that loss of life was compounded by the brutality and the viciousness of what he did to her body after she was dead. And to add to that horrible reality of what they had to hear happen to her, they also have to live with the reality that her entire body has not been found. Her
I didn't
head
get bullied.
to this day remains in an unknown location. And the fact that her head remains in an unknown location inhibits their ability to find peace. Right. And it inhibits their ability.
And I wish that they would be able to find peace with this, you guys, because some people like the Chapins, when you look at Ethan Chapin and his family, how he was with how close he was with his siblings, right? He was a triplet, I believe. There's some people say there were twins, but there were 3 of them. And the way the family turned to God and did their best to heal themselves because of the other children, I feel bad for these people, these victims of Sade Robinson's family, because it's hard when you're missing something like that. You feel like you didn't get the justice or you could never move on. But I hope that they find a way to move on, just understanding that people are people and people can be evil and they do things that we have no control over. So thank you. And follow the Yellow Brick Road. Said I watched it. Jay handled herself so well. Yeah, some people think that I handled myself in a way that I was letting people take advantage of me or blah, blah, blah. But that's not how I roll. I have patience until I don't. All right. So I try to be respectful. I don't call people names. Instead of calling them a name, I think of intelligent words and things to say so that I don't come off as a jerk and as a, I want to be above that. All right. Not irritated by you, irritated by the callers. The audacity to blame Deborah for what a grown man did and place the blame on Tyler is beyond wrong. The only people that are to blame is JS and SS. Yes, that's what I said. The only people to blame are the people that victimized Maddie, and that's Stephen Stearns and Jen Soto, in my opinion. All right. Yes, I am a Leo. Absolutely. And I've learned to stay regal because trust me, I have bad words right here too. I can come back with some nasty bad words and insult you and say things. Well, I don't do that. I stay above that because that's where I want to be. I don't want to be like that. And so I won't. But in the future, I will just click you off if you come on just disrespecting everyone, including myself. I'm just going to say click and next. No explanation needed. I let it happen once, but it's not going to happen a second time. All right. So don't get that twisted that I'm going to let people come on my channel and be disrespecting me or anybody else in it, because it's not going to happen. All right. Yeah, that's me, Jay. Until I have had too much, I give a warning. Me too, my friend. Me too. I didn't do anything wrong to anybody. I just gave everybody the respect they deserved. I don't think I got that back, though.
to believe that Sade has found peace wherever her soul may be. And he's the
Thank
cause
you.
of that. When you consider what her family went through, on top of losing a loved one, they
For
had
real,
to deal with the
Wyatt.
agony,
I'll leave that up there.
which was bolstered by the fact that they didn't know where she was missing, or what happened to her. And meanwhile, he's continuing on with his life as if
Good.
nothing had happened.
I'm glad
And
you did.
all any parent or friend or family member would want to know in those moments is that their loved one is safe, or that they just want to know where they are. And it was and continues to be torturous to their family, to Sade's family, because they don't have that answer as to where all of her is, where her head is. And still to this day, there remain unknowns that will likely forever haunt them. And the family can't even say goodbye to her because part of her is still out there somewhere.
People are going to go
And he's
back and
shown
watch
no
last
remorse for what
night's-
happened. He has not accepted responsibility for what occurred. And his failure to accept responsibility has further caused the victim's loved one pain, and reinforces his heartless character, which we've already discussed and which the court must consider here today. Again, simply put, there is no more depraved of an offense that this court could see. The defendant murdered Sade,
Yep.
tried to rid the world of her being. It's the worst behavior any human can engage in. It shows he has no morals, no sense of dignity, no remorse, and there's only one sentence that is suitable for that kind of violent and evil behavior, and it's imprisonment for the rest of his life.
Yes.
Thank you.
Why are they even
Defense.
debating
Thank you.
this?
We'd have
All right, guys, you guys are going to get pissed off. So now's the time to buckle up, say what you want, make sure that you're directing the bad stuff at the demon, not at me or not at anyone else. Let's not like this case does that, but this is the time where the defense gets the time to say, and we're not going to talk about who was blocked or what. We're not bringing that, guys. It was not just one person. In my opinion, last night, there were several people that got a little bit emotionally out of control. And there were several people that I did not disagree with. They stayed respectful, but there were some things that happened that I'm saying those are not going to happen again on my channel. So we're not going to be saying who and what. I don't want to blast people. If you were here last night and you acted like a fool, you know what you did. I don't need to tell anyone else who it was or what. Just know that I know who is respectful and who is not. And those are not the people that I'm going to continue to let on here, because I don't think I did anything wrong from keeping a balance of opinions. And I've never said to any one of you when we're covering the Stephen Stearns case, I've never said to one of you guys, knowing that Deb was in chat, I've never said to you, don't disrespect Stephen, don't say anything bad about. I've never said that. You guys, we've always had the same narrative about Stephen Stearns and the Madeline Soto case. And just because Deb was in chat, or she's here sometimes or not, or she's here, I've never said don't say anything. I say don't attack the parents. If you want to say bad things about the defendants and keep it to a point where you don't get blocked, because if you start cussing, my channel automatically blocks you. I put certain words in my chat that you can't say. So those will get kicked out automatically. You start going off on that, but it's not because that anyone was coming at Stephen. It was because of the way the people were coming at everybody else that wasn't the criminal here. And I did get a lot of messages in my inbox too that were saying that maybe it was unfair of how things were handled, or they thought that they felt bad because they felt like they had to tiptoe in chat and couldn't talk bad about Stephen. I've never said that. I've never told anyone, oh, don't say anything bad about Stephen. I've never once said that to anybody. So if anybody feels that way, let me tell you right now, you're wrong. All right. So we're just setting things straight. I had a lot on my mind before we came on, and I'm glad there was people that didn't notice. I see Lynn from Vermont said she didn't even notice. And that's what we do. We do it without people noticing. We respect people, and then later on we can go back and say, okay, it was taken a little too far. I'm going to set it straight now.
Maxwell's father, Steve Anderson, start by making us.
All right, be ready to be disgusted because this demon, his father, is about to come on, and it's disrespectful. I don't even know why they let this piece of trash, his dad, come on and say what he did. I think it was just a slap in the face.
Saying a few words.
Sir, please start by stating your first and last name, spelling both for the record.
Steven Anderson.
All right, guys, this is Maxwell Anderson's dad. This is the guy that bought baby boy the house and continues to stick up for this piece of trash.
StevenAndAnd.
Exactly.
What would
Exactly.
you like to say, sir?
Thank you for this opportunity. On behalf of myself and my family, I'd like to say a few things. First, to Sade's family, there are no words that I can share that will reduce your pain. You are all in my thoughts every single day.
Bullshit.
Although it is not the same,
Stop
having
crying for
lost a
your.
boy that was like a son to me 10 years ago, I have some sense of what you are feeling.
No, you don't. Nobody took his
It
head.
took me a very long time
I know.
to get past the pain that I felt.
This fool's over there crying, telling us about how he lost his son and interjecting himself into the case. I don't have sympathy for this guy, and it's not because of the fact that he's the dad. It's because he's the dad and he's handled it the way that he has. And Sam Witch, welcome here. Thank you for coming. And yeah, Witch, I appreciate you saying that. Here's the thing is I think people think that they can say anything they want in chat, but then when I call them out, all of a sudden they get so pissed off. So if you're going to stand your ground and say, hey, I think that Maddie's dad, Tyler, could have done more and that's awful, that's fine to say that. But if I want to reply back and say, I know the other side of Maddie's dad, Tyler, and I feel like he's a victim, then we just agree to disagree. But when you start coming back at me or anybody in chat and you don't like me commenting back on your comment, that's where things get skewed. So yeah, I appreciate that. After the apology to Sade's family, he should have stopped. I agree. I still don't think it was right for him to go in there and try to get that sympathy. And yeah, Witch, I respect that and how you feel. I don't agree, but I respect you saying that. And then Witch is cool. Witch has been around for a while, so I know her respect level. But if you're going to say something in chat, be ready for me to say something back. Don't get butthurt when I have a response. Exactly. Witch, I love me a comment back. Differing opinions can still be respectful. Exactly. People act like they come into my chat and just because they say something, that it's the law. And it's like, if you're going to come in chat and spew out some stuff, be ready for a response. All right. This just pissed me off, this guy.
For the person that contributed to his passing.
Thank you.
I'm not asking you to forgive anybody or anything. That is between you and your God.
I'm not screaming at Witch.
To the court, in particular, to Deputy.
I just talk loud, Wyatt. You guys should know me by now. Sometimes when I talk, well, all the time when I talk loud. Nobody's screaming at Miss Witch. Wyatt, check your microphone volume. I just talk loud. I can whisper the rest of the show if you want, but it doesn't suit me in this case. No, I love Witch. Witch has been here since day one as well. She always used to be in chat. Oh, someone was texting caps. Oh, I get it. I see. Leo's roar, not on purpose either. Oh, it's Sandwich. Sandwich always has her caps on. Sandwich, I don't know why, but I don't think she's yelling. Steven Anderson's crying for himself. I'm going to leave that up because you're right. I think that's totally disrespectful for him to be crying for himself right now. Don't you?
Allen, To Judge Crivello, thank you for your compassion and all of your professionalism. To Max, we want you to know that we love you
Screw you.
and support your plan for self-improvement. In this, we hope for a path for you to become a positive influence for society, both while you are incarcerated and hopefully after. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah, get out of here. Lock him up forever.
Thank
Can you believe
Thank you,
he
Judge.
said that?
As you noted at the beginning, we filed much of our remarks in writing. So
Look, that's the only time he got any emotion, guys, is when his dad talked about his brother and cried for him. Look at him now. He has tears. And yeah, they do call him the millionaire son or whatever. So, I mean, I've never looked at their financials, but I'm pretty sure that they have some money. They've been getting him out for a long time. All right. Bye-bye, Maxie boy. Wipe them tears off your face, because there's going to be a lot more of them to come.
that the court would have a clear picture of what we were asking for in this case. I know that there's no way to put a number sometimes on the loss of life. It's a very hard task that the court has whenever being in homicide court, you're confronted with homicide cases on a fairly regular basis. And by putting a number of 25 years of parole eligibility, we do not make any claim that we.
I want you guys. I saw somebody saying I wouldn't want to be the attorney here. Watch how frustrated he seems, and he doesn't seem like he even wants to be saying this. But remember, money talks, and I'm sure that this guy is a paid lawyer because they have money. I'm sure this guy, just by looking at him, I know he's not an appointed attorney, but watch how he says this stuff and how many times that he says, and whatever. He says a lot of times he does that, and he kind of, watch. I don't think he wants to be there either, but he's also making his, he's got to, they paid him close to my house. What's up, Barb? You're in that area? He does look like a meteorologist. That's how you know. That's how you know that he's not, that he's a paid attorney.
We know the magic number. What I would observe is, in terms of that recommendation, is this. When you set, first of all, the sentence in this case is a mandatory life sentence. The jury convicted him. That's required. One way or the other, whether he's granted the opportunity to be, and I use the word parole, obviously we understand.
He doesn't want to be here.
Supervision, it's often used interchangeably, but
he's like,
we're referring to some future hope that Mr. Anderson would
have
the opportunity to be released from custody. And the point of that is that he will be supervised by the Department of Corrections for the rest of his life. No question about it. And he has been in custody now, obviously for over a year, in solitary confinement, which is about as
look at his face,
horrible of a condition as a person could ever be confined in. There are basically the unit of the jail, the unit of the jail that he's in is one where there's mental health patients, there's people who are going through substance abuse withdrawals. And so it's a torturous way to exist. Obviously there are.
He look at his face. He really looks disappointed, like he doesn't want to say that. And how dare he say that this demon is living in a place that's miserable for him to exist. Look at what he did to that poor, beautiful Sade Robinson. I mean, the most unthinkable crime that you can ever think of is what he did to her. And then he went and put her body parts and burnt her car, thinking that he was going to torture, dismember, and nobody was going to care what he did because they didn't miss her because it was just another Black community person. They have money. He has money. The white devil. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of people here, guys. There's not a lot of people here. I wanted to do call-ins, but I don't know if you guys would even want to talk about this case or what. And when there's only like 100 people here, nobody calls it. So it's up to you guys. We're still here for a while.
Very real safety concerns that Max has going off to prison. We've, I think, expressed some of that in our written submissions to the court, that is a real consideration, because at the end of the day, this is not mob justice in this country. People have the right to a trial.
Should be.
They have the right to the evidence to be presented, the right to be represented by lawyers, and the right to test that evidence, and the jury return the verdict that it returned. And it's your job to determine the sentence. But I want to emphasize that whether you agree with our recommendation, the state's recommendation, or something in between, no matter what it looks like, Mr. Anderson is going to be saddled with this conviction and the supervision and the incarceration for the rest of his life. As he sits here, I struggle to wrap my mind around some of the case, just like everybody else. We heard the evidence. We sat through the trial, and I certainly appreciate the state reciting it again today, but I don't think any of us have forgotten it. And as you read in the pre-sentence report, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but you read Mr. Anderson's version of events. He maintains that he didn't commit the crime. And you can place whatever weight on any sentencing factor you want, obviously, but that's his position. The jury reached a different verdict. And so for purposes of my presentation, I don't think it's wise or useful to parse through the testimony and point out what I think are points of reasonable doubt. The jury rejected that, and they returned the verdict that they returned.
Yes.
What I would say is that when you read through the character letters that were filed by Max's family, and I listened to the remarks from Sade's family as well, beautiful remarks by some of her family members, and the character letters were beautiful as well. But so were the ones on Mr. Anderson's side. Every person who has known Max throughout his life, every one of these character letters speaks to.
Now, I wonder if these people that wrote character letters were paid to do so. Blah, 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 blah. You're right. Max is a bully. He's always been one. If you look at his rap sheet, and that's what I was saying at the very beginning. This is ludicrous. There were plenty of signs. He could have gotten help with the money they had. They could have put him in a home. They could have done anything. They had the means to do so, and they didn't. All right, Max, and it's almost like a punch in the gut to listen to what he says right after this. Yeah, right. Listen, if you didn't watch this yet, and they're going to let Maxie Boy talk next. It's absolutely disgusting that they even let him do that or say that. It's an insult.
A history and a background that wouldn't suggest that something like this would happen. His mother describes how when she would come to visit him, he had adopted dogs, how they were well trained, how they were obedient.
Yeah,
he,
dogs.
Talked about wanting to work in a nonprofit center someday.
Life.
His abilities as a chef, his work history,
chef,
his imagination, and you go through the other letters that were submitted.
A chef. What did I say earlier? Did anyone think that he tried to get his chef skills out and do something with some of those other parts that didn't show up? I've always thought that. And what about the dogs? All right, here we go. Yeah, just about. Yeah, the demon speaks next, and he speaks about how innocent he is. He's innocent, right? That you got it, Michelle, a chef. That's how he probably learned how to cut the right spots so quickly. But I'm sure he's done that before. Yeah, that's right.
His younger sister, who had written a letter and talked about
we have to finish first.
Max's intellectual talents and how he was a good student, how things came naturally to him, and how he was a good brother to her. The letter from the grandparents who were mentioned here as part of an earlier case, but his grandparents talking about their positive experiences with Max growing up. And
he never grew up. Let's be real.
That's the theme I think that exists here in all of the character letters when I read through them, that Max is, before he was taken into jail, before he was charged with these crimes, and before this incident took place, Max's character was generally positive.
Generally positive.
Graduate. After graduating high school, he went off to the Navy, served in the military for approximately 2 years. And I think there's obvious mental health issues in his background. I think that's clear. His mother talked about
Maybe.
what she thinks was a traumatic brain injury that he suffered at 3 years old. There's a documented history of ADHD. And you read during his military service, the mention that was made about the suicide attempt that happened in the Navy where Max had
I do.
tried to hang himself with an electrical cord. So clearly,
Too bad he didn't
there are
succeed,
mental health
huh?
issues that deserve treatment. And we know that prison is not the best environment for a person to receive treatment for their mental health issues and their
Me too.
AODA needs.
He couldn't have made it in the military.
I disagree
Oh, he
with the
didn't.
state that
Never mind, he
there's
didn't.
a long history of violence by Mr. Anderson. I think there are some isolated criminal convictions, but all those criminal convictions are misdemeanors. He has no felonies. And they are all of the disorderly conduct variation, even the one that
Blah, 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 blah. But you guys got to hear this because it's part of the whole thing. And we want to see this through. Justice for Sade, that she was more than just a deadly first date. All right. We want you to know who Sade was and then document this whole thing. And yes, Nettie, we're here because we're covering the rest of this. I did it on a weekend because I really didn't want to leave the case hanging. And I knew that it was long sentencing. And there's no way on a weekday I can pull another 3 hours out after working a full 8 hours, which is what I did yesterday, by the way. I worked all day long and then I came here and I streamed for another 3 hours. So essentially I did like an 11-hour day on top of the research and everything else. So that's why I'm here on a weekend doing this. All right, let's keep going. And thank you guys for being here. Hit that like button, subscribe, get yourself a membership. If you're not green, please consider being.
the state mentioned about the incident on Wisconsin Avenue that was prosecuted here in Milwaukee, that was settled for disorderly conduct with probation. The incident with his mother, fine only, disorderly conduct. So that is.
Oh, by the way, thank you, Barbara, for the $25 Cash App. That was awesome. You just paid for my Starbucks right here. So thank you. I bought me some Starbucks before I hopped on here. So I appreciate it. Last night, your show was awesome, Jay. The best one ever. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Much love to Vermont.
Is not a significant prior record. And I think that differentiates Max from a lot of other people that come in front of this court. You do see people often in homicide court with gang ties, long histories of gun violence, of juvenile misbehavior, and you don't have any of that here. You have misdemeanors. There obviously are AODA needs. I think all of these cases, if you look at the disorderly conducts that he's had in his background, every one of them basically involves either mental health or substance abuse. And I think that's a recurring theme that we see here and even saw a little bit in the trial. The copious amounts of alcohol that was consumed on the night with Sade, I think further underscores that there are certainly AODA issues here. Max's plans for the future, they're, I would submit, incredibly realistic given the circumstances that he's in here. Continue furthering his education is one of his goals, writing books, continuing to learn foreign languages. So I think he does have realistic plans.
Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate
and obviously
your
the
shout
punishment
out.
that's been inflicted sitting here in the county jail in solitary confinement has been horrific. Really, there's been almost no human interaction.
Okay.
He sits in a cell all day. His human interaction is when a PSI author comes to visit him or one of his attorneys comes to visit him, but not even being able to have visits from your family, not be able to see people in a face-to-face manner.
That's why I wanted to play this entire thing. And there was a sentencing that was 38 minutes long where it cut down the parts of people say, and I really didn't want to do that. I didn't want to cut down any of that. So Emily Jane, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have a significant record, huh? It's a long, violent, I'm going to say long and super violent criminal record. Who are we talking about here? All right. And we still want to finish this. I can't have call-ins while I'm playing this. So I'll have to wait until the end and then I'll ask you guys again. All right. I also have another case that I posted on my page that's coming up next week. I don't know if I'm going to be here on Monday because Monday, baby Guilty starts her first day of 5th grade. And so I want to, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be here. 5th grade's a big deal. All right, let's go. Let's finish this. Oh, but there's a new case. Giovanni, right? His name is Giovanni. I posted it on my page, went missing. And I really want to cover that because Giovanni went missing 21 minutes after his cousins that he had never met picked him up. After he went missing, his decomposed body was found days later. So Giovanni needs the coverage. We need the law enforcement to check the cameras to find out what happened. But in the meantime, we do need to cover that. 6th grade is big. First day of junior high. Well, it's 5th grade, and it's still big because it's my baby. Baby Guilty. I still think of Baby Guilty being my little angel that I drop off at, daycare, and she's so tiny, and Mom, I don't want to go. I want to be with you. That's how I still picture Baby Guilty. So 5th grade's a big deal. All right. I love Baby Guilty. They did find him, and his body was decomposed, Sadie's mama. Giovanni's.
The guards is truly horrible. And of course, the fear that we have of him being targeted in prison, we know that because of some of the publicity that this case has generated, and I know it's not a matter that this court can specifically address, but we would ask that as part of the judgment of conviction in this case, the court expressed no objection to the Department of Corrections choosing to house Mr. Anderson as they see fit. I know it's up to the Department of Corrections, but it is an important consideration in this case that even people who have been convicted of very horrible crimes, we are not a death penalty state. We're not a mob justice state, nor are we that way in this country. And I would hope that the Department of Corrections takes measures to keep Mr. Anderson safe.
No, please don't keep him safe. They're not going to keep this guy safe. I doubt it. When he starts getting into that prison system and you start seeing the people and the communities, especially because I believe he targeted Sade because he did think it was going to be an easy picking for that particular community. I hope they get him just like they did with Dahmer. What's up, Thought Criminal? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Thanks for rolling in. There's so many other channels tonight doing so many other things. So thank you for being here.
The compass evaluation in this pre-sentence report is certainly not
He's
as bad as
still
you often
talking.
see. In fact, most of and that's an actuarial instrument that is done to evaluate a person by the probation department. And it's on pages 39 and 40 of the pre-sentence report. He is rated unlikely in numerous categories of having issues with society and routines, unlikely to have any leisure or recreation issues, unlikely to have thinking and attitude problems, unlikely to have negative personality traits, even unlikely to have anger issues. And so that's those are the actuarial tools that you've asked the Department of Corrections to use by drafting this report. They come back and conclude that these are not significant issues that need to be addressed at some point. There's not a socialization problem. There's not an educational problem. And we know that from his background. You learned a lot about Mr. Anderson during this trial. He has a long work history. He's been basically a pro-social person since he went off to the Navy. He's held a variety of jobs throughout Milwaukee. People have known him throughout the community. He's been a bartender. He's been a server. He's worked for an insurance company. And so he does have a proven work history. He was also a homeowner. He was maintaining a stable residence. He was maintaining his financial obligations. And so he's not the kind of person who comes to court with such hopelessness in terms of their ability to function in society that I think we should give the life sentence for. So my recommendation, as I indicate, is for parole eligibility at 25 years. That doesn't mean he gets released at that point. All that means is that at some future.
All it means is this guy's trying to do his job and get his final paycheck and he's out of there. And by the way, Sin, thanks for asking. 5th grade is not in my district and I love it. My school that Baby Guilty goes to is kindergarten through 8th grade. I love it. So then when high school starts, 9 through 12, there's a certain high school that I have targeted that I want Baby Guilty to go to that my son went to. And if that doesn't happen, then we're doing homeschool. I'm not doing that. But yeah, Baby Guilty goes kindergarten through 8th. And it's just, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I want to protect my baby as long as I can. Thank you so much, True Crime, Mitch, AZ, for the super sticker. You guys help support the channel. I want you to know that. This goes right back This all goes right back to the channel, from my ghost to the Opus clip that makes my videos, to my Guilty of Crime website, to the fast internet, the fastest internet I can get, to every other thing, right? So thank you. I just want you to know that this goes right back into this, because you guys know I work full time during the day. So that full time goes to, right, bills, blah, blah, blah. And then this goes back to the channel. So thank you. I'm in California, Bernadette. I'm in California. And yeah, I love my baby Guilty kindergarten through 8th. And not only that, they do the STEM program. So they focus on science, technology, engineering, and math, which is right up my alley, because you guys know I run a mechanical engineering company, and we work for Google, Apple, Facebook, you know, all these companies. So right up my alley. Cali, K through 8. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. I just had to for a minute, guys.
Date,
Blah, blah,
25
blah.
years, when he has matured and grown, that a parole board will be able to evaluate his situation and decide whether or not he should have the opportunity to be released. That's all that means. Doesn't mean he gets out at that point. He may not even get out at 30 or 35 or 40. It would be entirely up to that agency to look at his growth and his behavior in prison. What has he done? What has he accomplished?
Nothing.
And if they conclude that that would be appropriate, obviously the victim's family would be permitted to play a role in that process as well. And they would be able to decide whether or not to release him. We're asking you for that mercy today and that opportunity for some future release. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Anderson, what would you like to say?
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to slow this down, or not just slow it down, just put on normal, because I had this guy at 1.2. I just want you to hear this pathetic piece of trash demon lie his ass off. And it's just a gut punch. There's no reason for him to have done this. It's just to spite the family one more time.
I would like to start by saying that
I'm a piece of
from the
trash.
bottom of my heart, my deepest and most sincere condolences go out to Sade's family, as well as everyone else affected by this tragedy.
You don't have a heart, sir.
That being said, Your Honor, I took this to trial without ever once trying to make a plea deal of any kind, because I did not commit these crimes. And so I plan to appeal my convictions, while I hope and pray that further investigations not only prove my innocence, but find and deliver true justice.
Anything else you wish to say?
No, ma'am.
What a piece of trash. Look at his lawyer. He's like, oh. You think he pissed off the judge?
So, relative to sentencing, I have a job. And what my job is to do is to hold you accountable. That's to punish you. It's to protect society. It's to find a way that you never come back here again, to rehabilitate you. And it's to deter others from engaging in like behavior.
Tell him,
At
Judge.
the point of sentencing, I have to look at different factors. I have to look at your past record. And I'll agree with the defense that the prior record on its face is not as egregious as many cases I see in my courtroom. Quite often you see a background filled with felonies and violence. But what I said was on its face. When you look at the record as it's worked through in the pre-sentence investigation.
All right, so now she's going to break down what he's getting and why. And I do love this judge. And Montana Mystic, I actually covered that case, my friend. The 4 homicides. Absolutely. Go back on my channel and go take a look at that. Yes, I covered that case. And I'm so glad that you guys feel a little safer there. All right, because that guy's a monster. We're talking about Austin Drummond, right? All right, let's keep going. Let's listen to the judge. Why, what, how long?
And I'll agree with the state that there are some red flags that jump out at you that that show a level of violence.
I agree.
That maybe it may have been a precursor. You know, when you look at the original case mentioned from Milwaukee from March of 2010, it looks like it's an underage drinking party. And when the officers come in, they find a bunch of people hiding, and they indicate they're about to do a search. And later there's people saying that they were being held in the home against their will. Kind of a weird comment to have on an underage drinking party. Ultimately, they find Mr. Anderson hiding behind an entertainment center. He's belligerent.
Wow.
He tells the police, "Fuck you. I hope you're proud to serve your country this way." He's then very coarse and his comments are obscene. He then urinates in a police vehicle and calls a female police officer a cunt.
I'm so glad this judge is taking into consideration that this demon doesn't know where to properly go to the restroom and he's got to shit and piss his pants and then calling these people. I mean, that's law enforcement can actually charge you with an assault charge for saying something like that. I hope you guys know that. You cannot talk to an officer of the law like that. And he's lucky they didn't give another charge. All right. Let's keep going. Ridiculous, but I love this judge.
We have the 2014 case where that involves the mother, where officers are dispatched to a location. They enter the home, they see, they make contact with the mother. She indicates that her son was in the kitchen. Officers approach and the response is, "What are you going to do? Shoot me?" And he runs out the door. He then jumps into his mother's vehicle and apparently steals the mother's vehicle and drives off. The mother indicates that when she returned home from work, he was acting strange. He was sweating profusely. He argued, he punched a vase, he caused it to fall to the floor. She calls her ex-husband. He pushes the mother into a room and shuts the door. He prevents her from exiting. He then breaks the phone. He's continuing to scream and yell and throw things, at which point she calls the police. Ultimately, what we find is that he returns to the residence. He gets into a physical altercation with Mr. Foos. She's informed that he had crashed.
Now, someone in chat is saying that he was a teenager then. Tell me about that. Did you see the record? Because I don't think that they would say these particular things as a teenager. Now, above 18, maybe he was 19, but they're not gonna use your criminal record as a teenager, and probably not with his parents' money. They would allow that. So I'm just curious. Maybe I didn't realize that he did this when he was a teen. Where did I hear that? You say yes, he was a teen? Okay, either way, it followed him all the way until 33 years old. So interesting. I guess it's pretty bad. Then usually you'd get your record sealed at 18.
Crashed her vehicle into the deck at the rear of the residence and fled on foot.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Ultimately, we find that the mother's fiance confronts Mr. Anderson and he throws that person to the ground. He's able to get back in the house and to prevent Mr. Anderson from getting in. He suffered 3 to 4 broken ribs as a result of the altercation. Ultimately, they have to meet with Mr. Anderson at the hospital because it appears he suffered a broken collarbone. He's convicted ultimately of disorderly conduct because he says Mr. Foos pushed him down the stairs as he tried to gather his belongings.
So I think they're starting from when his trouble started and then it continued. So I don't think that he did an underage drinking party and then all this when he was 18, 19. I think it escalated from that to the next. I think that's why they're bringing that up, because normally they wouldn't. But thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate you guys. And you asked that as a question. So they started off with that and then they escalated it to poopy pants, right?
It's interesting when you see Mr. Anderson's comment about that, because he just says that Mr. Foos just poked him. Sounds like a bit of a discrepancy there. Then we go on and we find the issue with the grandparents, and the grandparents call the police and they say that he needs someone to talk to about his mental health and that he's smashing a glass in the sink, causing it to break. He goes in the basement, he punches a hole in the wall. He breaks the other phones. They have to go to a landline at a neighbor's, ultimately to call the police. It just sounds like he
No, I don't
is
think
to
it was
some
all.
extent out of control.
No, they
He's
said a
ultimately
light
on
fee.
probation. He's given conditions of no drinking. He's given conditions of having anger management counseling. He tells the agent other people probably deserve to do anger management. I don't. He then goes on and tests positive repeatedly. To look at his explanations are ridiculous. At one point, he claims that he accidentally grabbed someone else's
Listen to
Red Bull
this.
that had liquor in it. But going through the repeated indication, it sounds like Mr. Anderson's the guy that does what he wants, when he wants, and he follows his own rules, not the rules imposed on him. And that's a frightening thing. You know, I read through the defendant's version of what happened. And it starts off by indicating that he was skeptical to meet with the pre-sentence investigator because he did not receive a fair trial. And there's no reason to believe that this writer's report would be fair or impartial. You know, speaking about the trial, you know, there's a constitutional right to a trial. Every person charged with a crime has a constitutional right to a trial. And we do not in any way penalize anyone for going to trial. It's also a constitutional right to be represented by counsel. And
I'll check.
Attorney Cotton did his job, which is just his job to represent Mr. Anderson. That's under our Constitution, the rights that exist. Now, you get credit for taking responsibility. You get credit for resolving a case early. You get credit for stepping forward and saying what I did was wrong.
No.
Because usually this first step in rehabilitation is.
Hold on real quick. I'll just stop for a second. I love this, Judge. Thank you, Montana Mystic, for the super sticker. I did not get your email, Emily. Are you talking about today? Or I've got like 100 emails sitting in there just from last night. So if you want to resend that to me, I've also got a whole bunch from people in chat that are here I haven't been able to look at. So let me know if it's relevant to right now. Can you resend it? If not, I will take a look at it. Okay, yeah, it's probably lower to the bottom then. If you want me to look at it now, please do me a favor and email it to me again.
Taking of responsibility. And we didn't have that here. That's why it's important to read what his version is. So you heard him say today that he didn't commit this crime. What he said about the offense was that they met for food and drinks and they proceeded to his apartment. And that's pretty much all there is to say, he said. He offered no other information as to what transpired that night. He later said that he regretted he did not walk Miss Robinson to her vehicle when she left his apartment.
What?
And he believed it was at that point she was abducted by an unknown assailant. Quote, either.
All right, so great. Listen, you guys, I want you to listen close to this part. This blew my mind, and I'm so glad this judge is calling him out on bullshit like 110%. My goodness. And what's up, Kalisa, Katz, and Barbara? Thank you for talking about Darrell Brooks there. Yeah, Waukesha. You guys remember Waukesha? The Waukesha parade? Darrell Brooks just drove into the public. Barbara says that she worked at the facility, right? And Darrell Brooks threw feces at the guards and nurses. Yeah, he's wild. He's never going to get out either. All right, listen to what this ridiculous story that he gave was about what happened to Sade.
From the alley or from my backyard, unquote. When asked how he accounted for his presence in the area where Miss Robinson's vehicle was set on fire, Mr. Anderson said that he was set up. He stated he was in the area to buy marijuana, and quote, and all it would have taken was for someone to know where I lived and where I'd be in the morning, unquote. He would not tell the writer when or how he made the arrangements to purchase the marijuana, and then instead stated, quote, I plead the fifth.
Okay.
He then went on to point to things that he claimed were egregious errors at the trial. He claimed that there was a video that showed the photos on the phone and that the state only played stills of the video. That wasn't the evidence at trial. Am I correct?
Yes.
He claims that the still photo that showed his hand grasping Miss Robinson's breast was part of a video and it was only a still that was shown. Incorrect, correct?
You're correct.
Call him out. Call him out.
He indicated that at trial, it was flaunted, the difference in age.
Hit that like
And
button.
when I read that, I was somewhat shocked because I didn't really find that that was pointed out at all during trial. I mean, it was mentioned how old she was, but other than that, I didn't think that that was in any way an issue. And
Relevant or
it barely even made it into my notes. So I thought my point is, I thought it was interesting how his view of reality seems different from what I find truly transpired. And I found it at numerous points during the pre-sentence investigation. You know, looking through this pre-sentence investigation, his viewpoints were very inconsistent with the reality. You know,
his viewpoints are very inconsistent with reality. Who doesn't love this judge? What's up, Beyond the Evidence? How you doing? You guys go subscribe to her channel at Beyond the Evidence 1. Marvelous Marv. And I love that you stopped in, Marv, because you remember when we were covering this case back in the day with JT and we had a panel. We've been covering the Sade Robinson case for quite some time, and it's so good to see you here. Awesome. It's like taking me back to the old school. Brooks, I thought Brooks got LWOP, and now he has another trial, or he had another case coming up that he decided to represent himself again. Yeah, he has multiple. Okay, I thought that. I watched that case only for the laughs. Brooks got 5,000 years. I worked 12 years. Oh, okay. So Barb worked for 12 years there and Brooke got 5,000 years. Yes, you remember. I have so many episodes on this case. I needed to wrap it up. And Carly says, hey, ya Marv. All right, let's keep going. Let's listen to this. She left off on his reality is ridiculous, basically.
I think the first issue relative to the mother's fiance, that was credibility. You know, it sounds like he lied to law enforcement.
Yeah, thank
you. You know, he's asked, have you ever been involved in mental health treatment? Have you ever been in a mental health facility? Have you ever received treatment? He responds in the negative, but then we have the mother indicating that he was in an outpatient.
I am too better. What's up?
He indicates that he never made a suicidal attempt or had an ideology of said. But then we read about in the Navy how he was dismissed from the Navy due to a medical release, which appears to be related to the suicidal attempt in trying to hang himself. You have him saying about school, I did okay. But then you look at the history of how he did in school and his grades were pretty abysmal. And just odd things, like he talks about how he purchased the home himself for $160,000, but the mother says, no, I told the dad to buy him the home.
See? Like he lies for no reason. I love that the judge is calling him out. What's up, I Am Two Bear? Finally on my messy schedule. Yeah, I'm here on a Saturday making sure I wrap this case up properly. Right? I feel you know, like I need to do that for these cases that I get into. So thank you for being here. And yeah, go subscribe to Beyond the Evidence, guys. The link is in chat. All right.
It just seems like he has a different view of reality than the rest of the world does.
Yeah, think.
So when I look at the criminal history, which I'm bound to do, it reflects low-level misdemeanors, but the facts underlying those low-level misdemeanors are replete with points that raise your concern. I next have to look at whether he has a history of undesirable behavior, and I think I've charted through what basically I found in the pre-sentence investigation. As to his personality, character, and social traits.
Awful.
It appears that he has had employment. That's a positive. It looks like he jumps between bartending jobs at numerous facilities. But who is a person who would do this crime? You know, what's the character underlying that? How can someone get to a point of inflicting such damage on a person, not only killing the person, but then dismembering? And then after that, discarding the body throughout the community. It's unconscionable is where it comes down to.
There's no excuse for any of it. There's
I
no-
did read the letters that were supplied on behalf of Mr. Anderson, and I do agree. They paint a picture of a man who helped his family when in need, who cared for animals, who went out of his way to love and support his family.
Wow.
But they love him, and that's clear. And that weighs on his behalf. You know, the fact that there are people out there that care and love him, that says something good. You know, quite often we do trials or we go to sentencing and there's no one here on the behalf of a defendant, which is really tragic and sad. So it says something good that a family does still care about him. I have reviewed the
It's
pre-sentence.
not much though.
And
I'll tell you.
I've taken into consideration what's stated therein. I have to look at whether you're remorseful, and I don't think you're remorseful in any way. I don't think that you
He didn't do it. Remember?
have gotten to the point of taking any form of responsibility for what transpired.
No accountability.
You know, the investigation that was conducted in this case, it was a dedication by numerous law enforcement officers to work tirelessly to put together the pieces to determine exactly what happened underlying this matter. You know, I do think that jury trials, they do re-victimize the victims.
Right.
You know, it's hard to sit and watch a trial. It's hard to see the details. And it's hard, you know, not even to have known Miss Robinson, to wipe from my mind what you saw during that trial. And I didn't love her. I didn't know her, but you did. And that's a hard last thing to have in your minds. So I do understand how trials do re-victimize the victims.
He is great.
So when I look at the character of the defendant, I find the character wanting. When I look to the severity of the offense underlying this matter, I do sit in homicide court, and I can tell you on a daily basis, you don't understand why things happen. You know, almost every case, the victims come in and they want to know why. Why did it happen? Why did you have to do this? Why did you have to get to that point? And more often than not, there's no answer.
No.
We never know. It never makes sense. There's never, never do you walk away and say, oh, I understand why that transpired. It just doesn't happen. I can also tell you that, you know, I've read through all these letters and they talk about give us justice, right? Give us what's due. But I can't give you justice. There's no way you will walk out of here, no matter what I do today, and high five each other. There's no way you walk out of here and you say justice is served, because justice would be having Ms. Robinson back to you.
And I love that she says that, because that really is the only justice that anybody would get, was if Sade was never gone. And even if they find the rest of her body parts, I don't think that it's going to give them the closure that they think they need. It's just going to probably re-victimize them in seeing how decomposed it might be, or whatever he did to it. I mean, yeah, the judge can't give them that. Only they can give themselves the peace that they deserve. And I love that she says that. And she also says something about not wanting to attack them or whatever. And I know that the mom only said that because she's angry and upset. But watch, listen to what she says. Listen to what she says.
Yeah. Justice would be having her with you for the rest of your lives. And you never get that. You know, to hear about her, she was an innocent victim. You know, she was a girl that I would hope all young ladies strive to be.
Absolutely.
You know, to hear about working 2 jobs to reach her goals, to be going on for schooling and further education, but then to hear about how much she was loved in the community by almost everyone that touched her. You know, it was interesting to go through the letters, because I got the letters that were from who I expected, you know, the mother, the father, the sister, the loved ones. I also got a letter from the real estate agent that worked with Ms. Scarborough. I got a letter from citizens. And I can't tell you, I really debated whether or not I would share
this
this,
is
but there was a
great.
letter from a citizen that doesn't know.
Okay, so this is probably the best part of this whole sentencing. Now, I mean, that and the mom and the dad speaking, right? But this was awesome. There's two things in this sentencing that I don't see, that I've never seen. Number one, I've never seen somebody come in and give the victim impact and talk about light and dark and evil, and the way she did that, the way Sheena did that, Sade's mom. And then number two, the judge reading this letter from an unknown person that didn't even know Sade. That says a lot. So this is real. This part and the other part is really good. What's up, Kelly? Cozy in Las Vegas. I hear it's hot in Vegas. All right, let's listen to this part. We're almost done with this. I know we've been here for a long time, but that's why I did it on a Saturday night. Me too. I am too, Bear. All right, last part. Really good.
Miss Robinson, never met her. And this is what he said, or she said, I don't know. The person signed it as Stargazer. In pertinent part, it says, Sade Robinson was not a torso. She was not evidence. She was a full, living, radiant human being. She had dreams, plans, and a future she was building with pride. She had people who loved her and that still love her, more than words can hold. And she had a right to live, to breathe, to laugh, to grow old. That right was stolen in a way so vile, so deliberate, that it tears at the fabric of what we call humanity. You, Maxwell Anderson, didn't just kill her. You carved her, and you discarded her like garbage. And you tried to erase her body from this earth piece by piece. And for what? Not even you had the courage to say. You sat there in court as if you were a man. You didn't snap. You planned, you didn't panic, you dismembered, and still you offer no answers, no remorse, no ounce of dignity that you stripped from her. But here's what you couldn't take. You could not mutilate her soul. You could not silence the scream of justice.
Amen.
You could not prevent an entire community from rising up in Sade's name. We know who she was. We know what she could have become. And we will not let your darkness define her. To the family, there are no words that can hold the weight of your pain, but I need you to know we see you. We mourn with you. We love you. You have the right to tears. You have the right to rage. You have the right to every ounce of justice this system can give. May you feel her arms in the wind.
Agreed.
May you hear her laughter in your memories. May you know that she did not die forgotten. She died loved. And we will remember her always. Maxwell Anderson, you are not the center of this story. She is, and she will always be. Sade Robinson lives on in light, in truth, and in love. And you will be remembered only as a man who tried to destroy something beautiful, but failed. You know, I thought that was beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And I think that it shows the impact that this had on the community. You know, that took time and effort and thought. And I think it put together a lot of what the community felt. So going back to what I need to look at. In formulating a proper sentence, I need to look at the character of the defendant. I need to look at the severity of the offense. You know, to take away a child is horrific. You know, you wouldn't wish that on anybody. To have a child not outlive the parents is a horrible thing. But not only did you extinguish her life, but you hid it, and you hid her body to be found. And I can only imagine every time a news report, every time something clicked that another body part was found, how it had to just re-victimize this family, how it had to just be like another shot to their soul. I can't imagine how horrific that had to be. And yet, I wonder which was worse, the not knowing in those first days where she was. You know, I can't even think of a word, horrific. It's beyond imaginable for a parent to think of not being able to know if your children are dead or alive, and then to learn that they were dismembered and disgraced to the extent that this poor girl, her body endured, is beyond understanding. So the severity of the offense, I'll agree. It's definitely at the top of some of the worst homicides I've seen in this court. Looking at the impact on the community, I read that letter because I thought it stated to a great extent what we're here about. You know, what my job is to do, it is to hold you accountable and to punish you.
Lock
It is
him up for
also to
life.
protect society. And that's about how do we figure out if at some point you're redeemable? How do we figure out if at some
he's
point
not redeemable.
you will change your mindset? You will get the therapy and education to be at a point where you will be safe to have in the community. Now, part of that goes into the fact that you don't take responsibility. You know, I listened to the evidence. I watched what was introduced during the course of the trial. There is no explanation that I've heard that's valid as to why you would be walking away from that burning car. You know, those photos are
Right.
not of a girl in a video
He was set up, guys.
enjoying life. Those photos of you grasping the breast that was ultimately shaved from her body.
Yes. Yes. I mean, this is just, yes. He did that too. They watched him grope her and do that. And then he later on had to have had some like just major hatred in him for, number one, turning him down. I don't know if he thinks that women like men to grab their chest, but he did. She didn't like it. And look at what happened. He took one of them. What's up, Cat H? Late to the party. Yes, he cut one of her breasts off as well. And the judge sees it. This is powerful. This guy is a waste of air, a waste of breath, a waste of human space. You know why? Because he's not a human. The family's right. He's a demon. Nobody else could do that except for a demon.
With her face plastered into that, I don't recall if it was the ottoman of the couch, the way that her body was positioned. There's no explanation for that.
What?
I don't need to rehash the evidence. I've gone through all my notes from this trial, and I think that Attorney Vance Cruzan did a nice job of summarizing and in part the details. But there's no answer that you briefly provided in this pre-sentence that makes even a hint, that even resonates with a hint of truth. So how do we protect society from a man who clearly has had darkness in his past, who engaged in behavior that is, it's the facts that you see written in horror novels?
Yes.
That's what we have to determine.
Yes, horror novels. I am definitely, I watch all horror. And when I hear of these people and these circumstances, that's all you can really think about is just a horrible horror movie. I didn't even realize what the judge said about, what did they find? Maybe a print of her face smashed into his ottoman. There's some of the things that I didn't know, and I did not, this case, there were no case documents that I had a hold of. It was what the media was reporting, what the news, and anything that I can get my hands on. So I'm actually grateful that I didn't have to read those documents to hear what she's saying. So.
And you know, it isn't easy. I can tell you that when you think about, is there ever something redeemable in a person? You'd like to say at some point there is. And I can tell you that at the points in life where I've come to the conclusion that there isn't anything redeemable, you know, you do think about, I think it takes away a little piece of my soul. How come I couldn't find anything good? How come I can't find anything that I can say at some point you'll be a better person?
Nope, because there's not.
So ultimately at sentencing, considering the seriousness of the offense, your character, and the needs of society. This is clearly not a probation case. Probation would unduly depreciate the seriousness of the offense and isn't even allowable under our law. You are sentenced to a term of life imprisonment, and that is what the penalty is for a jury of your peers ultimately coming back and convicting you on first-degree intentional. In this case, I didn't see a restitution request.
We are asking for a restitution hearing, and we've pre-selected a date.
Thank you. We'll be setting restitution off to be determined at a later date. Relative to this matter, I have considered the seriousness of the offense. I have weighed your character, and as I've indicated, I find it
What
wanting.
character?
I've also reflected on the needs of society. And are you a good risk? And sadly, you're not.
Nope.
As to my sentence, relative to the nature of the offense, you are not eligible for challenge incarceration. You're clearly not eligible for any substance abuse programming. Restitution will be determined at a later date.
I don't think they want anything to do with any of that. But here's the thing. I think I heard somewhere that the family, after this is over, that they're going to sue maybe one of the bars or two of the bars, because Sade was only 19 years old and they should not have even let her in, let alone to be serving alcohol. So I think I heard something like that, that there's a possibility of a lawsuit, but I don't think they want anything from their family. And if they do, I mean, I don't know. All right, let's keep going. You know, if Wisconsin has the DP, maybe George Floyd's family would have got some closure, might have caused the riots, and maybe it would have been BLM. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Unless it bankrupts them, yeah. But when you see these lawsuits like that, many times nothing ever happens. They give them this, oh, you're gonna pay $250,000, and you never really get it. I mean, look at even the Maya case. Maya Kolowski was her last name. Where she got millions and millions of dollars. Her mom had to take her own life in order to make sure her daughter was safe. They never even got the money. So think about that. Yeah, it's absolutely not about the money.
You need to submit a biological specimen to the state crime lab and pay the surcharge thereof. You do have the right to appeal. And if indigent, you have the right to the assistance of the public defender. What you need to understand is that a notice of intent to pursue post-conviction relief must be filed in the trial court within 20 days after sentencing for your rights to be preserved. You have been convicted of a felony. You may never possess a firearm. If you do, you're looking at 10 years of imprisonment, a $25,000 fine, or both. You may not possess body armor at any time in the future. If you do, you'll be subject to 15 years of imprisonment, a $50,000 fine, or both. You cannot vote in any election.
She is. But by the time they get anything,
I'm going to waive all non-mandatory fees, costs, and assessments. I'm ultimately going to want payment for restitution first and foremost. So we're going to determine that on a later date. But due to that, I'm not imposing any fine. The fees, costs, and assessments will be payable during your term of confinement at a rate to be determined by the DOC. Pretrial incarceration credit.
I'll get that information to you.
Okay.
hit that like button, guys.
So
Come on.
relative to,
That's what I'm waiting for.
one moment.
Is he eligible for parole? I haven't heard her say that yet. I think he might be. I can't remember. I was disappointed.
Count 3, arson of property other than building. That's a class I felony. On that offense, you are looking at a fine of up to $10,000 or imprisonment for not more than 3 years and 6 months or both. Relative to that matter, the maximum is 18 months of initial confinement and 2 years of extended.
Does anybody remember before we hear her? Was it life, and then they put some years on top of it? But maybe he's going to get parole in 40 years or something like that. But he does look confused the entire time. Let me know. I know we're gonna hear right now, but Bowie's saying hi. Bowie. Okay, let's finish this.
Supervision. I am imposing 18 months of initial confinement and 2 years of extended supervision.
Confused.
One moment.
Me too. I don't know what she said that yet. I don't even know why they go through all this with him. Why not just give him LWOP with no possibility to ever get out? He's a waste of air. He's a waste of space. Yeah, you guys say hi to the doggy.
As to count 2, which is a charge of mutilating a corpse, that's a class F felony. That means upon conviction, you could be fined not more than $25,000 and imprisoned not more than 12 years and 6 months or both. Relative to that, the maximum is 7.5 years of initial confinement and 5 years of extended supervision. I am imposing 7.5 years of initial confinement and 5 years of supervision. Relative to count 1, that is a Class A felony, the charge of first-degree intentional homicide.
Agreed.
Relative to that, you relative to this matter, weighing all of the factors that I must, looking at the Galleon factors, considering your character, the severity of the offense, and the impact on the community, where you stole a truly shining light is what it sounds like. I am ordering that you will not be eligible for extended supervision. Counts 2 and 3 are consecutive to count 1. The date for the restitution hearing will be
September 4th at 10.
That is wild that they even considered us. That I've seen this already, and it still had me on the edge of my seat because I'm like, wait, what? The last comment that said, if this isn't good for, if this is an LWAP case, then what is? Nothing would be a life without the possibility of parole of something like this. I mean, what he did to her, unless it was consecutive, unless they got multiple life sentences for, desecrating a body, burning the car, yada, 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 then he would never get out. But this is ridiculous. He does look like he needs an exorcism. My goodness. And BLM started because the Black community got tired of the injustice. Yes, all lives matter, but Black. Now, here's the thing on this one. And I don't want to get into BLM right now. We did talk about that because he thought he was just getting another Black girl off the streets and nobody would notice. But I think BLM started for many reasons. I think one of the biggest thing was the oppression for so long, and then us changing, right? Us changing the president, and just a combination of things that were built up, and that's why that happened. So again, I don't want to get into politics or anything like that, but yeah, he does look like a pompous ass. His appeal will be on our dime. Yeah, I think it was a huge combination of a lot of things. And I mean, we see it again. We see now with President Trump in office, we see the things that are happening with the ICE. It was just overdue to happen, and now's the time it's going to happen. And because it's overdue to happen, it's even worse than it was. Yes, I was responding to the man that I didn't see the comment, but we're all good. I still wanted to talk about that. Trayvon Martin was something that it was a combination of things. Trayvon Martin was part of it, but George Floyd was a huge part of it. And yeah, I mean, way back when with Rodney King, we see what happens when things are way overdue. All right. BLM also had to do with the racial inequality there's a whole lot of things. And that combination was just boiling over, and it was bound to happen. And it did. All right, let's look at this guy. He's like, come here, I'm going to call my daddy when I'm done. He's going to get me out.
30.
Have you determined?
Yes, excluding today's date, 484 days.
I will provide you with a written explanation of the determinate sentence for your review. State, what have I failed to address?
I think that's everything.
Defense, what have I failed to address?
Nothing further.
Celeste?
Nothing, Judge.
One moment, and I'll give you a copy.
Cabin, they had the COVID. Yeah, COVID brought a lot of things. He's never getting out. Go wash your hair, you greasy demon. Go shave your face. You could have at least showed up decent for court. He doesn't even look like
Is
he
there a printer in the paper?
took a shower, changed, combed his hair, shaved. He's just a piece of garbage. I wouldn't be surprised if he pooped his pants right now. What do you think? You think he pooped his pants after he heard that sentence? Maybe he peed in his chair. Maybe his winky. Maybe he pee-peed himself. It'd be funny when they pull him out of here to see a big wet spot on him. Come here, Bowie. He was a chef, right? I hope he pees and poops his pants. The lawyer's like, okay, I guess I'm done here. Where's my paycheck? He's like, I'm done here. What a failure. Human garbage. Tell me he doesn't look like he's in a fog, he's in a haze, and he just shit himself just a little bit more. He's got cockaballs in his pants, and he pee-peed himself. There's going to be a little wet spot for his little dingleberry. He's going to have dingleberries and his little pee-pee. He's probably holding it so he doesn't piss himself. Yeah, his poopy pants, since he likes to poop and pee all over the cop cars. Why not? He was a butcher, not a chef, but they did call him a chef. But I'm sure his butcher skills came into use with what he did. And he probably used, I wish I would have seen some of the things that were on the list of evidence. There probably were knives and things that came from the chef knives, because I don't think it would be easy. Listen to Taylor Shabiznis talk about dismembering her victim. It's not easy to do that. All right. Michelle's laughing. Hey, Tiff, where'd you go? I just texted you. I have a question for you. He is delusional. Can you just see him pooping his pants? I can. I can see him walking, getting up and having a poop stain on his butt and then a little pee stain right where his little winky is. He's probably tucking his winky in between his legs right now. Yeah, they're trying to make him seem more relevant.
Moving forward, just an idea. Sade Robinson, she was working so hard for good. She was working so hard to achieve so much. I haven't heard a word about how she was involved in violence or any type of attack or any type of ugliness. Wouldn't it be great if we all move forward not thinking about retaliation or revenge or hunting people, but about let's emulate that spirit and move forward trying to be kind and gracious to all. I mean, that's clearly the effect she had on the community. If we all try a little harder to step away from violence and
She's
be kind to each other,
right
communicate more, maybe our world will be a better place. Just an idea.
And I love that she says that, because every family wants vengeance. And I know that they are hurt right now and the things that they're saying. I'm laughing so hard, my stomach hurts. You guys are all going to look when he walks away, though, right? You're going to make sure that he doesn't have a poop stain or a pee stain in the front. But yes, I mean, what the judge says is right. I mean, we all try to hold ourselves to that standard, right? I guarantee you, any one of you would have been in my seat last night and have somebody barking at you. You guys probably would have wanted to bark back and be like, no, I'm going to start. But it's harder to take the righteous path. It's harder to take the road that's the road that's good. It is. It's a lot harder. But every time you take the higher road, you get a little bit closer, and it's easier to take that higher road. It's so much easier, guys, to just be upset and pissed off and retaliate and use negative language and cuss words and to be like this guy here. I mean, in a perfect world, though, we would be able to forgive and to take a higher road, but it's hard. Put a diaper on that skunk, Jay. If I had one, I would. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Watch his pants. Let's see. Yeah. Do they show? I can't see his butt. Look at him. He's like this, walking out. Piece of trash. All right, guys. This hour and 38-minute sentencing took us 3 hours to get done. It's a long Saturday. We still have 100 people here. I mean, I'm down. It's 9:00 over here. So I don't know if anyone wants to call in and give me your thoughts. I would be happy to do that. If not, I'm going to show you what the next case. It's a 3-hour show. Do you remember back in the Madeline Soto days, how many times we would go? 2.5, 3 hours. Go take a nap, Carly. It's 9:00. I think it's bedtime for you. I still got stuff to do. I still got chores and stuff. I haven't done any chores or anything like that today. It was my day off. I think I slept most of the day. But before I do that, let me show you. Yeah, it's 11 there. It's 9 here. Somewhere it's 12 o'clock. It's funny because I see these late night shows that people do or streaming live, and last night when I woke up, hold on, I wanted to show you guys something real quick. I woke up and I saw that. Hey, Carrie, good to see you. I'm glad. I hope you were here listening. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you my page because I want to show you this guy that needs attention. Is it here? Oh yeah, let's take a look real quick. Let me go onto my page, my channel, and I want you guys to keep an eye on this case. I don't know if I'll be here Monday, but I wanted you to see this guy, Giovanni Pelleter. Can you guys see this? All right. I just spit my coffee out. Yeah, a lot of people last night I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I was listening to a channel and they were still going. I don't know if it was true crime or remember what it was, but 3 o'clock in the morning for me and like 6 a.m. and they were still going. I was like, dang. All right, Carrie, you have been here. I know you were in the background. I just wanted to say hi. Sin says, help me, help you what? All right, so look at this real quick. Yeah, it wasn't Dolly. It was just another regular channel. Dolly does those late night ones too. But real quick, I posted this on my community page. And thank you, Tiff. I don't know if Tiff fell asleep now. It says, oh no, she's here. It just won't let her comment. Okay. Oh yeah, it's weird. After last night, it did that. So anyway, go to the post page. If you haven't heard about this, take a look at this case I'd like to cover. Giovanni Pelletier. How do you say that? Pelleter went missing 21 minutes after his cousins that he had never met picked him up to go meet other family members. Now, he was just found. This was days later, and his body was already decomposing. The circumstances are more than disturbing, and I think this case needs attention. Where there were cameras, when he ran out, the cousin said he had a crazy episode and they pulled over and he just ran out of the car. So this is so wrong on so many levels. And I want to discuss it here and just show you guys that he deserves to get justice and he deserves for this family to take a look at this case even closer. Can you imagine, guys, can you imagine giving your children, this is the first time, right? The first time your child's teenager or 16, I don't know how old exactly. I don't know how old he is. I just started looking into this case, but I don't know. I think he was 16 or something. Giovanni Pelleter, North Carolina. I can't see that. I think 16-year-old, it says disappeared while on vacation was found. I guess he was on vacation. I didn't realize that, but there it is there. So this kid goes with his family. He was just a kid. I think he was 16. I can't see the thing it cut off. You say he's 18? Okay, I haven't done any research yet, but we did put that together thanks to Tiff. The other one, yeah, I don't know. 17, Tiff can't comment, but whatever. He was a teenager. First time he had met his cousins picked him up at 1:30 in the morning from his house or wherever he was with his mom. They picked him up. All right. He was visiting, but he went with his new cousins at 1:30 in the morning. By 1:51 in the morning, 21 minutes later, he texts his mom and says, I need help. She talked to the cousins, and the cousins said that he had some crazy outburst and just jumped out of the car. All right. Now, if he jumped out of the car on that side of the road, whether it was a highway or freeway, they have cameras. All right. So those cameras should be able to see that. They didn't find him. 21 minutes later, went missing, and now he's a decomposed body. And good night, Beyond the Evidence, Marv. Good to see you. Peltier. Okay, thank you. Peltier. Giovanni Peltier. Now that I said that, I'll be able to say it again. All right, thank you. They found him in a pond. He was 18. Imagine that, guys. And you don't even want to. Just imagine that. You're letting your kid, which he was 18, she didn't need to let him. And 21 minutes later, he disappears. They blame him for having an episode. And days later, they find him decomposing in a pond. What do you think happened? I don't have any other explanation, folks, except for you better find some damn cameras out there that show you pulling over on the side of the road and him jumping out. Otherwise, every single person that was in that car with him needs to be interrogated, investigated, looking at the car, looking at it like it was a crime scene, because this is just, I mean, these circumstances are almost pointing to who did this to him. There's no way you're ever going to tell me that my child's going to go with their cousins and 21 minutes later they go missing and then found unalive. No way. Yeah, I hope it doesn't get unsolved though. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know because it was his cousins. I don't see how that would have happened. I don't know, but we're gonna look into this. I'm not gonna keep, I'm not gonna get into it until I have it. But that's quite the only child syndrome to the extreme. I don't know. I mean, I guess, but I don't know what that means. I mean, he went missing 21 minutes later. I don't know. So the thing is nobody's got into the details because it happened so fast. I hope the pings, but listen, I am too bad. Listen to what his cousins that picked him up said. His cousins said that he jumped out of the car and went missing and they found him dead. I don't buy it. I don't think those were his cousins. I think it was a setup. He felt like something was off, texted for help. I think he jumped out and they ran over him repeatedly and hiding his body. Well, there you go. We're going to find out what happened as we look into this. So keep an eye on that. If you want to comment, go over to my post page and comment. Not all states have highway cameras. They don't, but they better start looking. If there's no cameras, you better say there's no cameras. We can't find any. But nowadays in 2025, there's cameras everywhere. Cousin wanted to be the only nephew. I don't know. I just don't buy it at all. They need to start seriously looking at the cousins. That's all I got to say. Anyway, on that note, as you know, we try to cover a case a day. Next week, though, I'm going to have a little bit different time. Maybe on Monday, I might not come. And then we have other things to cover with Jen Soto that I want to iron out about that dog leash and go over. And then I also have some analysis that I want to run with you guys. So we're going to do that next week. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to be here on a Saturday night. It's midnight. It's 12:16. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go outside and take a look at that moon. And I'm going to go hang out with the fam. Baby Guilty, wife. We'll call her the guilty wife. Guilty. It doesn't sound so good, but yeah, I don't believe them people either. But I love you guys. And thank you, Carrie, for being a member for 13 months. This day, 1 year ago, Jay, you helped me with Poppy. Was it a year already? What? Oh, man. That made me so sad with Poppy. Baby Guilty and I were upset about that. I hope that you get another Poppy Jr. real soon, Carrie. I love you. Thank you for being here. Go outside, look at the moon, and hug your family tight because you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, the guilty wife. We got Baby Guilty. We can't call her Miss Guilty because she's Mrs. Guilty or Lady Guilty. So we'll have to think about that. I don't know. Yes, a year. Jeepers. I'll text you back here in a little bit. Montana Mystic. I'm going to go hug the family and look at the moon. And yeah, just chill out. I'll see you guys next week. All right. Love you guys and have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?